ladies and gentlemen. Apologies about that. Sorry, just had to walk away from my computer, unfortunately, for a few minutes. Hello and welcome to the V8 Supercars Super Show once again. Super 2, Super 1, live to you tonight from the island. Currently, MotoGP is just finishing up its Super Show down there this weekend, and now it's SRW, so to take to the track. The track has been cleared, everyone's filing out of pit lane and looking for immediately for battles, and everyone tries to pick their spot on the grid. Scotty Rattlegun Rankin behind the scenes here for you tonight will be with Nathan Shibby Howard. Big thanks to our sponsors, DragonRC, Warner Brown Tools, and the DSL Welding Services. This is the DSL Welding Services V8 Supercars Series. DragonRC bringing you tonight's action. Tonight's qualifying action, as usual, brought to you by Melville Equipment Corporation. Right, that's all the important stuff out of the way. It's time to go racing, or go qualifying, as it should be. We're straight into the action and halfway around the warm-up lap. Drivers will have 20 minutes or so to get their laps in. It's going to be the endurance format here tonight, 60 minutes, one race, and I have a strong inkling it's going to be a two-stopper unless you can excessively fuel save. Fuel window at this stage looks like it is about the 20-minute mark. It's been awesome seeing some new entry coming into the series. Linton Wills among those for the Alpha Venturi racing team. He was a big supporter of the rest of his team on Monday night in the NASCAR Truck Series. It was Thomas Riley back then that was finishing, I believe, in P3 it was on Monday night. So he had a blinding up. The rest of his team getting involved. Those times that are coming up and going on the board, those are from the out lap all the way around to the start-finish line. So those times will not be your flying laps at this point in time. Drivers just filing off on the flying laps. DC is not David Coulthard, it is Dave Coleman, who will be the first one to set a lap. Harry Dodds will be the second in queue immediately behind him. So two drivers immediately onto their flying laps. And then the rest of the field will try and file in behind them. Talking to Harry Dodds earlier in the evening, he said there is only one lap on the tyres, so it will be a swift reset back to the pits, I get the feeling. So Bruce Hennick will be the first driver who jumps right at the top of the board. Gets out there. Coleman's not too far off him, and Dodds is just in behind him as well. So they will continue to vie for position. Bruce Hennick, of course, in that Mag and Turbo entry. Drift car driver in real life in New Zealand. One of the best that New Zealand has to offer from the world of drifting. And there'll be a few notable names that you notice absent here tonight, and that's because they do have other duties to attend to. Namely, a couple of the fishy drivers, I believe, are off competing in something else. So they'll try and settle themselves down here and get those quick times out on the board. Scholes has jumped up a long way as well, so he's jumped up to P2. Sam Noble for 9.5. Sim Sports doing a reasonable job up in P5 as well. And I believe how this has been set up is that Super 1 and Super 2 will be decided after round number 3. So at this stage, nobody has been seeded into their respective classes as yet. But there's a few drivers that you would expect to be in Super 1. Tanek among those. David Coleman would be as well. Dodds will be right in and around that margin. And with speed like that, he's got a very good shot of moving forwards. Brad Wall probably be around the marker where your Super 2 will start. Matty Keane, that's not a great lap there for Matty Keane. So expecting to see him improve as the night goes on. I've just seen Michael Klash for TMX Racing. Daniel Clutterbuck's just gone past him there. Up the edges of Siberia. So Klash has had a moment. And one of the right sim racing drivers trying to get out of the way and allow other drivers to set fast lap times has run very, very wide. And Clutterbuck is now off the road as well. So at the moment, just casting my eye up and down the field, just sort of trying to pick out who we can follow for a lap. I believe Schultz might be halfway through a lap here. Indeed he is. That's Siberia right there. Comes under the 420 bridge. Bruce Tanek will make his run down the main straight. So he's actually just finished a lap. So he'll be cooling off the tyres for another go. It's tyre heat based. Is the big thing. Max Stewart's just made his way out to the circuit, so he'll be about to start his flying lap, I believe, as well. About halfway around at the moment. I want to say a big shout out to the SLM drivers as well. After somebody named a new business opportunity for them on Wednesday night's podium celebrations, they've picked up their first sponsor, Matty Keane Quotes. It'll be interesting to see what quotes Matty Keane has got for those guys should one of them end up on the podium here this evening. So this is a southern loop. Or the loop, I believe is just called by most people. And then the run down to Honda. He'll tip it in, looking to improve on that first sector. Good drive off Honda is key, all the way across to the curbing on the right-hand side. Tip it into Siberia. Make sure you wait. You've got to be patient at Siberia or you will end up off to the right-hand side. Known for its freezing cold temperatures and how rainy and wet it is. Nobody wants to live in the cold, frozen regions of Siberia, and that's why Siberia is named as such. Up over to Lukey Heights at the crest here. You'll tip it back in. Oh, big wiggle there coming down the hill. So that's a mistake. That'll cost him some time. But is there going to be an improvement here from Noble as he tries to go over after Dave Coleman? Nope, into the pit lane. Final corner. So that's actually important there to note what pit lane entry looks like for these guys as well. You've got to attack it. Going to attack that line quite aggressively. You can basically hold it wide open on the run into pit lane. So it's not quite. It's very, very close. But speed, getting into the pits without speeding is always critical in the V8 Supercars. Run from Tyrone Walsh as well for SLM. Man, they're breeding. Well, at this rate, SLM's going to very quickly catch up to the number of fishy cars we have in operation. Tyron Walsh about halfway through his lap. He'll be hoping to improve a little bit as well. Tom Riley, we were talking about his exploits on Monday night in the NASCAR Truck Series. Tomorrow night, the Oval Series, the only asphalt Oval Series for SRW, will be heading to short track in Iowa. If you're looking to get a taste of the action there. Still accepting entries, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Iowa's a nice short track. Always good for exciting racing. Lots of bumps. Lovely open track Phillip Island. Always evokes those fast flowing feelings. Which you love to feel. Brad Wall for Team SRW Motorsports as well. Had a very strong finish on Wednesday night in the TCRs. He missed out on the podium by, I think it was less than a second. Raced Randall Luapuri right to the line. I was actually talking to him about that performance a little bit earlier on in the evening as well. He said he was busting to get to Lou. So between trying to fight off Randall, trying to keep the car on the island, and busting to get to the bathroom after the race, he just wasn't quite able to keep it ahead of Randall Luapuri. But Randall spoke a whole bunch of words about the battle that they had. It was a titanic battle, back and forth between Luapuri and Brad Wall on Wednesday night in the TCR series, and both of them thoroughly enjoyed it. Andrew Proctor will now start to try and wind himself up. See if he can position that car a lot further down the field. The little fish in the pond has joined us here, Ty Delaney. And qualifying's about halfway through now, so 25 minutes is the journey, and then we have the famed SRW top 10 shootout immediately coming your way straight after. So there's a penalty just been handed out by race controller, grid penalty for impeding cars. So 869, I think, was the car number that received the penalty. It was 869 and car 289 were the two cars involved. 289 is Brock Mottershead. 869 is Michael Quash. So that's caused an issue during qualifying. Qualifying starting to come to its conclusion. That's going to be just about all she wrote, I think, in terms of the pace. It's going to be quite difficult for a few of these drivers to improve from where they are at the moment. There was a little bit of fun and games between the Riot Sim Racing boys, as I think Scalzi, one of his other teammates, came to blows at the end of the second corner. It might have been Aiden Norris, because both of those guys have just come out of pit lane down in the exit of turn number, well, on the entry to turn number 2. They basically just both went in there having a biff of bang and a bit of a giggle, and smash and bash each other into the gravel trap. There are multiple ways to enjoy sim racing, and sometimes it is beating, inflicting as many battle wounds as you possibly can onto other cars, particularly if that other car is happy to reciprocate as well. Demolition derbies, we all know the power of a good demolition derby. Corey McFarlane has all of a sudden gone to the top of things. Only the second time we've seen Corey McFarlane out in the V8 Supercar, and again goes to the top of the charts. Big wiggle coming through the final sector on his way to pit lane, and that will be why. Have a look at how narrow that pit lane entry is. That is going to be critical. It is a difficult pit lane in terms of you've got to attack it with speed, but at the same time you have to be very precise. It cannot be understated how big a risk it is coming into pit lane. It's not one of the trickiest pit lanes in terms of drivability and kinks, crests, those sorts of things going on. but it is in terms of just how narrow it is and how easy it is to pick up the grass. Gonna try and pick up drivers that are running quickly at the moment. Bruce Tannock's just had a big old slide. Putting the drift car skills to work. Trying to park it on the inside and get out of people's way. So we can have another crack at a fast lap. Tell you what, the track is busy at the moment. Just having a quick look at the southern loop. There are two separate cars down there trying to get out of everyone's way and giving everyone else the opportunity to go. Bruce Tannock notices multiple cars coming down the main straightaway and recognizes he has to get quickly out of the way to avoid impeding other people's laps. You're going to see probably pit lane exit may be an issue at some point tonight. There is two pit lane exits. There's the regular touring car or V8 Supercar car exit, and then there's the motorcycle exit, which continues further on down to the left-hand side on the run to turn number 1. Zach Mack will return to the series as well. He's currently sitting down in P number 11. Good start for Zach McDonald. We'll run through the drivers currently in your top 10 shootout. So we'll start off with Corey McFarlane, who will be the last car out on track at this stage, of course. Laps still coming. Bruce Tannock, Matty Skulls, currently on the screen having another crack. Harry Dodds has managed to make his way up to P number 4. That's a great qualifying effort for Harry Dodds. David Coleman's in P5. Sam Noble in 6. Craig Schultz, P7. Well, change that up because Hayden Norris has just jumped his way into the top 10 shootout and he's gone to P7. Craig Schultz will get shafted to P8. P9 will be Brian Good, I think it is. It is Brian Good. And Matty Stewart, the chili bin, will sneak his way into P number 10 at this point in time. So Stewart at risk of not making into the top 10 shootout. The driver at risk at this point in time. He'll need to get out there and continue on improving. And he's clearly had a mistake. So that will be a quick tow back to the pit lane and another attempt at getting out there. Time starting to run out for these guys with 8 minutes left on the clock. Big shout out to Darren Robb over in the chats as well. He's jumped in to say good evening, guys. Good evening, Darren. How's your Sunday evening treating you? McFarlane's out on another lap at the moment. Get the feeling be coming through. In the meantime, we're looking at Zach Mack. Yeah, so that is the run down to turn number 2. So that says to me he's actually on a flying lap at that point in time. Look at the handwork as well. Working that wheel as hard as he possibly can left and right. Like I said, ladies and gents, it's also going to be moving into our third ever Sim Racing World Top 10 shootout. Started back at the Sandown 50 lapper. And has been carried through. Was a cracking finish last week. Nerves got the better of drivers at Oran Park. Is Phillip Island the track to settle them down? We might see 10 laps set here tonight. Will somebody just have an absolute red hot go at it and do something different that they would not do in a regular qualifying sim, regular race sim, and try and eke out just that little bit more pace? Track is busy at the moment. So there are 39 cars registered for the session. 39 cars here from Phillip Island, which is just an amazing number. Good evening to Ridley Turner as well, joining us over on Facebook. Everyone's starting to crawl into the Facebook streams this evening. Don't forget to leave us a like and a follow. And Jacob Hughes finally manages to make his return to the series. Albeit not in a NASCAR truck. Disappointed, Mr. Hughes. Disappointed. Of course, Jacob Hughes working and busy on a Monday night. Righto, who are we looking for at this point in time? Normally, ladies and gents, we'd have sector times coming to you across the bottom of the chart, but because of the way that this is set up, can't actually offer you that insight. What we can do is what we've got there. Jacob Hughes improves 6 spots and will jump up to P31 with a 130.7. Currently, the pole time is a 128.3 by Corey McFarlane. Bruce Tannock with a 128.6. Skulls is less than a tenth back. Also on a 128.6. 128.7 for Harry Dodds. He is a tenth back. A little bit more than a tenth back to Michael Whiting, but then Whiting and Coleman are covered by next to nothing. So it's good to see the fishy drivers getting quite consistent. Coleman's jumped a long way up. And so is Zach Mack as well. Matty Stewart and Craig Schultz have been bumped out of the top 10 shootout this week. How good was the performance from Matty Stewart last week to put himself onto the front row. Keeping himself cool, calm and collected when everyone else got a little bit nervous and blew engines. So Dave Coleman now starting to really push on with a lock brake. Multiple, that's the motorcycle pit lane exit that they've just come out of there. There is a cone that actually covers that one off in the sessions tonight, which should be preventing the drivers from taking that. They will have to nudge the cone out of the way to use the motorcycle pit lane exit, but it's the safer way to feed in. Harry Dodds has just picked himself up a grid penalty for an incident attempting to join the track off of pit lane exit. So Shibby's just asked a question in my head. Did he drive over the yellow line too soon? No, it's actually for an incident whereby he's merged onto another car that was on pit straight. So it's for making contact with another car. And when you've got 40 cars out there attempting to turn laps,
Shibby.
We can hear you. Steven Sinkovich has joined us in the commentary booth. When you've got a whole bunch of cars out there attempting to turn laps, it's a very, very busy track. Evening to Jai Schultz and Brad Lowshaw, who've jumped on Facebook as well. Unfortunately, with the inclement weather down in Melbourne, unfortunately, Schultz was unable to be here tonight. Be good to see you back again next week. So, starting to run out of time, and the drivers that are on the fringe that will need to improve are Craig Schultz, Matty Stewart, and Shane Clark, Michael Quash, and Daniel Clutterbuck. So, Clutterbuck is back in 15th place, would need to improve by more than 0.4 of a second to get himself into the top 10 shootout. A few drivers starting to shuffle themselves around. Craig Schultz, I think, might have just been improving, or he's on a lap to improve at the moment. Schultz needs to make himself up. Get this, 1/1000th of a second to tie, and would need to improve by 0.02 of a second to get himself into the top 10 shootout. 0.02 of a second is all that is holding Craig Schultz from P number 10 and making it into that top 10 shootout. That's insane. Matty Stewart, meanwhile, is, get this, only another 0.2027 of a second back. So that's 27 thousandths. Sorry, 29 thousandths actually, that's preventing him from going into the top 10. So Stewart doesn't have much to improve by. Clark is a fair bit better back, but it is tight right around those numbers. Few drivers not taking out. If they're not out on track and they're not coming close to the end of it, they need to be on fast laps They've got 20 seconds to get to that line. When that timer runs out, qualifying is done. Signed, sealed, and delivered. And Corey McFarlane's just crossed the start-finish line, so his time is done. P6 looks to be, I want to say Michael Whiting's just finished the lap as well. P16 at this point in time will be Simon Mazzomo, who's just coming around the final corner. Braden Sagas has jumped in late and managed to work his way up to P13, but will run out of time, will not have enough time to get another lap in. And we are 3, 2, 1 done. P30 is just about to get to the line. That is it. And the crossover mark is 1/1000th of a second for Craig Schultz. And he will be disappointed at missing out on that. But how close is that for getting into the top 10 shootout?
Bloody close, mate. And I thought you said your voice was gone.
It was up until yesterday. I could not talk until yesterday. My wife was actually telling me, you can't broadcast tonight. You can't do it. You're going to cook your voice.
I wouldn't let you either, mate. I wouldn't let you too.
You just didn't want to be in the comm box with me, Steve. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, I was sitting there patiently for ages then, and I thought, I'll just pop in when he breathes. But you don't breathe, mate. I reckon you'd hold your breath underwater like a lymph for about 5 minutes.
Mate, I'm so stiff and sore. First actual game of getting to bat in the cricket season yesterday, and of course I had to go big, didn't I? So it is going to be a good thing that I'm not out there in the cars there this evening, because I don't know how good we'd be doing. Sue Gerland's going to pop by and say hello to us as well. Big shout out to all the Gerland family.
Nice.
The Paw Patrollers have been affectionately named.
Are they still there?
They are, the Paw Patrol. They love us.
I haven't seen them for I haven't been watching the stream live because I've actually had a week of racing, which was good. Well, you could call it racing. I was on track. So I haven't seen the Gerlands, the Paw Patrol pop up, but actually Paul hasn't been racing either, so I guess that's probably why. But it's good to see them back because they're a good supporter of the good old SRW.
I was going to say I've been missing them on was it Wednesday nights, but it's kind of tough to miss them. Excuse me. When you've moved out of the commentary box and moved into the car, so a lot more difficult to miss them. But I didn't see any names popping up there, so Zach McDonald's going to jump in.
Cool.
We'll be the first car out.
Excellent. Oh, interesting. I was
So
actually looking forward to racing tonight.
I think Aiden Norris has had an issue, and he's not able to get out on track, so he might just be ceding his grid position. And he might be making use of the top 10 shootout to go out and grab some extra preparatory time, utilize the restroom facilities, maybe get a bite to eat.
Yeah, I would do the same if I had the chance, but, you know, we've got to miss what we've got to miss. So what are we aiming for? What's the target? What do you reckon the top 10 time we're aiming for is going to be?
Well, we saw last week that it was a good 3 to 4 tenths off. So, and there was, I think there was only 5 times set out of the 10 drivers last week. So Zach McDonald will return to the top 10. I'm pretty sure Zach McDonald was in it last week.
Yeah. So, wow, Zach's hit a 129 flat. That's crazy.
Yeah, so 129 flat, and everyone above him is into the 28s.
Yeah, so 128.322 in practice by Corey. That's bloody fast, isn't it? God almighty. What do you reckon this race is going to be? Is it going to be tyre management?
It's going to be fuel. 100% is going to be fuel and pit stops. That's the run into turn number 1. That's what it looks like going into turn number 1 when you've got speed, you've got trust in the car, when you've got that balance. Now he'll turn it into the loop. Keeps it into the curbs. Look at the line through there. A little bit of a wiggle on the power. Coming off for turn number 2 for Zach McDonald. And it's looking good. It's looking really good for the 9-5 Sim Sports driver, Zach McDonald. The run now down to Honda.
I'm predicting a 133.7.57.
You reckon it's 4 seconds slower is what you're saying?
Yeah.
They reached in there and they did just detune the engine a lot. They took 300 horsepower away, says Steven Sinkovich. Now the run through the hay shed and on up to Lukey Heights. He'll turn it in at the crest of the hill here. Gotta not carry too much speed. Up on the curbing. V8 Supercar crawls all over it, and now on the brakes, down in, carry the brake pressure in the middle of the corner. Trying to get the car settled. Uses first gear. risk a wheel spin. He'll come to the second last corner, and now it's the run to home. Get a good run off of here. Get the car turned in nicely. Oh, a little bit of a late apex. Didn't want to turn in early. And now it's the run down across the Melbourne signs. It is the run to the flag. And the time is only a 1:29.391. So it looks like the track may not be slightly as quick. There was a couple of minor errors there, though.
Yeah.
Right,
How
Hayden
you find
Norris.
that, Zach?
That was better than last week, mate. Second top 10 shootout, and you looked 10 times more settled that time.
Yeah, that was much better than last time. More happy with that lap.
3/10 away. Track conditions, it looks like the track temperature's dropped 1 degree Celsius, so that tends to say that you'll go fractionally faster. There's generally not a lot in it with 1 degree Celsius. 2, 3, 4 degrees, you'll start to see some benefit. But hey, look, you've got the lap in, it's nice and clean. If a few guys blow their engines, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, fishy boys, that could be good enough for 6th, mate.
Yeah, I hope so.
You're thinking 2 for 2, Scotty.
Mate, feeling good about that one, feeling good about the start. It's, look, worst you can do is P10. So, obviously, it can't go too wrong from here.
Yep.
All right, mate,
No,
head
I'm
down.
happy.
Head down, best of luck. Go get them for us tonight, yeah?
Yep, thanks.
Have a good one, Zach.
Here
And
comes Hayden across the start finish. Let's see what he pulls out.
the first of the right sim racing drivers jump out on track. Matty Skulls will feature later on, will be the third last driver to run. So the right sim racing boys have got some pace in the V8 Supercars. That looks, is it just me, Steve, or is he a lot closer to the curbing on the inside most of the way through the loop?
Yeah, he really hugged it close. I actually saw something in Zach's line as well.
Oh, he's deep here. Very
He's
deep
deep
there,
here, but
Honda.
he's a purple. He's a purple. He's going to hold it.
Purple in the first sector improves.
He's just held that. Oh my god, that would have been me spinning off. 100%,
The wheel work is
100%.
excellent so far from Aiden Norris, so invert both him and Zach McDonald in the top
So
10.
this corner that goes left up on the top of the hill here, I noticed Zach stayed in tight left. In the Porsches the other night, the guys were staying out wide and then cutting in. But Hayden's done the same thing. He stayed in tight left, so it must be a slightly different race line to the Porsches.
Well, it's interesting because I think the line coming off of the sharp right-hander, that's critical. You've got to open the next corner up so you can get back to the gas, because then you gain. Now it's off the final corner. The run down to the flag. What's it going to be? Is it going to be an improvement? He will get a 1:30.2, which is a slightly worse lap than his qualifying attempt, but good enough to go ahead.
That's close.
Hayden Norris, tell us about that one, mate. It's that's pretty bang on to where your qualifying time was, brother.
Oh, not too happy with it, mate. I've lost a heap of time at the hairpin, but tried my best.
Is that your natural line that you take through the hairpin, or did you just come tight then?
Oh no, I just fucking went way too tight.
Yeah, okay. That's the only sector you lost time in. You had purple in the first sector and the third sector.
Oh, it's always the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mate,
But onwards and upwards, all good.
The Right Sim Racing boys saw a little bit of tomfoolery from you guys there in the qualifying session just before. That's what it's all about. It's all about having a laugh, having a giggle, and having some fun on a Sunday night.
Scotty, you know the drill, mate. You know what we're like.
No, I've no idea. You guys always amaze me. It's something new every week. Settle in, Aiden. Have a good run tonight, mate. Worst you can finish is P9 now in qualifying, so hopefully it gets a little bit better from here for you.
That's it. Cheers, boys. Appreciate it.
Good run, Aiden.
Well,
Have a
man.
good night, mate.
Thank you.
Here comes Brian, first right-hander.
Down through turn number 1, and we'll see how the line C drifts out just a little bit wider than both of them, but that'll straighten up the corner exit. If you can get the car turned in, and I think he's actually got a better run coming up on the first sector now.
That looked a bit smoother.
See, no, so he hasn't improved, but this is where Aiden Norris lost all his time. Good, we'll try and get it tipped in nicely. The line's much better than Aiden Norris there. Gets it turned in nicely at turn number 4.
Oh, that was smooth. That was real smooth.
Smooth and crisp down through Siberia onto the hay shed. Onto the power nice and early. That looked good through the hay shed, I will admit that.
Even looking at his steering wheel, he was so smooth through there. There was no pulling to the left or right.
Oh, that looks bad. He got narrow on the approach up to Lukey Heights. Lost some time. So he hasn't improved on the middle sector of Aiden Norris. Aiden Norris's drive must have been better. And that's what saved him at this point in time. So he's down Brian Good. At this stage, he might only be good enough for P2 as it stands. I think he's got enough to cover off Zach McDonald. The run through the last corner, the run to the line. It looked good off the last corner. What's it going to be good enough for? Time will come up, and it's P1!
Oh, well done. Well
So
done.
no purple sectors, no best sectors, but it doesn't matter because he goes to the top of the timing charts. Get this, 26 thousandths of a second is what covers P1 and P2.
That's nuts.
Nothing
That's
in
nuts.
it. Absolutely nothing in it, Brian. There was no purple sectors. You're not best out of the two other guys that went before you, but it doesn't matter when you're consistent right the way through the lap.
Yeah, it's a pretty clean lap. Didn't make too many mistakes, so no, happy with that.
That's what we're both noting, mate. It looked polished. It looked smooth.
Yeah,
It looked crisp.
very smooth, mate. Very smooth. The way you were handling that steering wheel through those corners was really tight, man. It was nice.
That's
work.
good to hear. Yeah, no, been practicing a little bit today, so sort of got my lines worked out.
How
And
confident
now it's
was
just going to be a matter of consistency through the race, yeah?
That's right, yeah.
Dave Coleman's going to come to the start-finish line to start his lap. But Brian, how's the pit strategy, mate? Any words of advice for us in terms of the race strategy?
To be honest, I'm going to work that out right now.
All right, we better let you go do some mathematics, mate. Good luck.
Good on you
Good luck,
guys.
mate. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
See you, Brian.
Let's see
All
how
right.
Dave goes.
DC is
Yeah,
going to
man, how
go.
did his qualifying last round? He didn't blow his engine or anything like that, did he?
No, it wasn't.
No, that
It was
was
Michael
Michael.
Whiting that blew the engine.
That was Michael,
He
yeah.
picked up an off-track coming through the final, the second last corner, up and over the hill at Oran
Yeah.
Park. So hasn't improved. So far, that first sector. Oh, that's a big wiggle onto the brakes, and he's caught it nicely.
He's
That was on the
held that.
downshift. That was on the downshift. Yep. So now he's got to gather it all back up and make time through this middle sector. It wasn't a great sector from Aiden Norris, but it didn't matter.
No.
So far, the time to beat belongs to Zach Mack in sector number 3. Oh, sorry, sector number 2.
2.
And there it is. There's the purple up on the board. So Coleman looks to
Nicely
be
done.
the first driver who might jump into the 28s. So far, Brian Good's got
Go
close.
through this one. Oh, wow. He's got some pace through there, hasn't he?
Opens it up. He's very narrow on the approach here. Very
Yeah.
narrow.
Yeah. See where he takes it to the left here. He's going to mount the curbs a little bit, yep.
That looked clean. That's the best run we've seen through the final
Yeah,
turns
he's
so
got a
far
lot of
tonight.
roll out of that, but yeah, nicely done. Is it going to be a finish with the purple? He's finished with the green.
And will jump. He
and-
will jump to the head of the
Oh, he
queue.
has done. Well done, Dave Coleman.
So get this, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to rattle off the top 3 times so far. We're going to start with Coleman, who will jump to the top at 29.095. Brian Good was at 29.160, and Hayden Norris at 29.186. So the top 3 at the moment covered by less than a tenth of a second, as the team boss will now get his chance to have a crack. Will be Michael Whiting.
Hey, Dave, how did that feel, man? Did it feel like practice, or the track feels like it's cooling down a bit?
I felt pretty average. I'm not,
Yeah, well, you
I'm not-
did well, mate. Straight to the top of the charts.
yeah, I'm not enjoying this track, but we'll see how we go.
It's not one of your favourites?
It used to be. I just don't seem to drive it that well lately. I don't know why. I think I pushed too hard, to be honest. But yeah, long
Settle
race.
down into a groove, mate, because that was a really good quality, mate. And it's going to be a tight race by the look at these times, mate. It's ridiculous.
One
Yeah.
thing I was going to say, mate. You know what makes you better around here? Go do some practice on 2 wheels instead of 4.
yeah, it'll be quicker. Hopefully, we can have a few safety cars tonight and keep it nice and close. See,
All right.
Yeah.
Have you
All
have
good.
you told the team boss to peg back that gearing ratio this week? He's not going to do an engine in qualifying again.
we got plenty of engines where that comes from. So
Good luck, Dave,
if he ain't sending it,
All right.
he's not trying hard enough, Steve, boys.
and happy birthday,
Take care,
mate.
Dave.
Not my birthday, July 9, boys, right at the end.
Oh, Fishy Motorsports,
Mark.
ladies and gentlemen, they always have a blast with it.
Michael's hit a green first sector, but really smooth. really smooth so far.
And this is where Coleman made all of his time, was this second sector.
He's .065 down on that first sector. Jesus Christ, this is going to be a tight qualifying session. .065 in first sector down from the purple sector, so that's nothing.
So he now goes purple in the second sector.
Nice. Must be something to do with their setup. They're a lot faster in the second sector.
So it'll now come over the crest at Lukey Heights. He's narrow on the approach here, but he's got the car turned in nicely. And have a look at this. He's opened the corner up. I reckon this is going to be pole. This is going to put him to the top of the charts.
Looks good. It looks really good.
A drive through that second last corner has been excellent. Now the run to the line. Gets it tipped in.
God.
Drifts a little bit wide. It's scratchy, but he might have picked up the momentum he needed. 29.095 to beat. And he will jump to the top of the charts with a 28.882. First driver into the 28s tonight in the top 10 shootout. And it's good enough for Michael Whiting. Only 700ths of a second off his qualifying time. So he's the closest we've been so far.
That is nuts. Michael, well done. You're at the top of the pole, mate.
Yes, mate.
Very well done. It looks like your setup, the Fishy Boy set up second and third sectors. You guys seem to be faster than everyone else. The first sector, you guys that touch slower, but that touch was only a .065. So that was pretty damn good. How did it feel?
Yeah, it felt really good. I actually think, I'm just having a look now, that it might actually be the wrong ratio. We ran 2 ratios for Phillip Island for a couple of different races we did, and I reckon we're on the 1,000. So, yeah, it felt good. Hit all the apexes, made all the right stuff, a little bit wide at the hairpin. So,
and no blown engine.
No, correct. So it's a good start.
Well done, mate. Well done.
A couple of the guys come and got some pretty quick times to come, so we'll see.
Mate, talk to us about the run through that hairpin, because that seems to be where everyone's sort of tripping up and tripping over themselves. It's just about being accurate. Phillip Island's one of those tracks that requires accuracy, and that seems to be the corner where people are getting it wrong.
Yep. Yeah, you really got to get the hairpin right. If you don't, you lock a brake or you go long, you can lose a lot of time there. So that's the one that really makes it. Also coming down through Lukey and stuff, if you lock a brake through there, you can lose a lot of time as well. So, but it's a combination of the whole lap, really.
All right, best of luck, mate. That's P1 so far. Worst you can finish now is going to be 5th in terms of top 10 shootout. Good luck tonight.
Good news. Cheers.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers, mate.
And things that I was noting whilst we were talking to Michael Whiting, Dodds was very clean, very close to that curbing. He carried the curbing all the way through turn 2 in the southern loop.
Yeah, he did. He was that hairpin, that tight turn to the left. He was really tight on the money across there. He didn't go out wide and cut in. So I'm hoping that keeps his times nice and tight.
Well, he was 0.2 of a second down in the first sector, so it's not working for him. Has he pegged some of that back?
He's got the wheel mounted there.
That's good, though. That's where you want to be. It's very wide, though. Trying to pick up the throttle from Doddsy. Take a breath. Down through the down through the right-hander. That looks good, though. That's a very good approach now to the final sector. He's going to try and line it up, Dodds. Back to the throttle. Back to the gas. Cranks on the steering lock at the last corner. And it looks better than Whiting's. He's got a better run out of the final corner than I think we've seen from anyone so far tonight. And he's purple in the last sector from Harry Dodds.
Purple in the last sector. Well done for second.
Only good enough for P2, so he will get pipped by Michael Whiting.
Look at these times.
There is nothing in it across the top.
Well done, Harry. That's second on the grid, man. You there, Harry?
Yep, got you, mate.
How did that feel, mate? How did that feel? That last sector, you hit a purple on that. You absolutely got out of that corner to the straight like a bullet, mate.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, the car didn't really hook up in the first part of the lap. It was just as the lap kept going on, it didn't. Like it sort of didn't hook up, but it didn't. But other than that, really happy with the lap. Just really stoked to actually, just be within a tenth of the Fishy Motorsports, because that's really what I've been aiming for since I've started racing against these guys. Like to be within a tenth of one of them is actually pretty handy, I feel.
Well, I think it's
you're a tenth of the boss man.
Yeah, that's a tenth to the boss man, but you're ahead of David Coleman, and you beat him in qualifying session as well. So that says comfort tonight. Races have obviously been your biggest weakness, I think. Qualifying pace has been right there for the season. What's the approach here tonight?
Definitely approach it's definitely going to be a bit of change to that one. I feel like I've gone in a bit too tense as per my previous experiences, but I just need to relax. As you probably would have seen Scotty, but yeah, just having that relaxing state is what I need.
Yeah.
Breathe,
You know
mate.
what? You got to enjoy it, mate. That's what you got to do. You got to enjoy it. Go out there and have some fun. I reckon you'll smash it if you have some fun.
Absolutely, mate.
All
Send
right.
it.
You take
Best
care of
luck
yourself,
to you.
mate. Good luck out there.
Thanks, boys. Cheers.
All right,
Righto.
so Sam Noble's out.
Yep, from 9-5 Sim Sports, and he was not close in at the Southern Loop at all. So there's everyone has got a fractionally different line through the Southern Loop, and that says that they're all attacking the course differently, and that's good to see.
Well, it makes me feel better about my line because my line's rubbish, and it's a combination of all of these.
Something I was
God.
talking to, well, I've said a few times throughout our broadcast, and I'll continue to say it, is the culture that we have in the Discord here is fantastic, to the point where Tyler Sheaf was having a lot of problems with Phillip Island TCRs over the last week. Dylan DeBono lined him up the other night and sat down and went over it with him, said, you've got to be in this gear here, you've got to be in this gear here, point the car here. And he improved to the tune of 3 seconds a lap at
that's
Phillip
it.
Island. And that's the culture.
There's never a shortage of help. Never a shortage of help. At the moment, Noble's 0.113 down, bit of a shaky one. I reckon he might be near the bottom of the top 10. That didn't look as smooth as the rest of the guys.
Yeah,
Even
might
to the
have
point
got
where he
the
just, yeah.
That might have helped him a fair bit in qualifying. Sam Noble, what's it going to be? It is the bottom.
Yeah, he just looked a little bit shakier than the rest. It wasn't that smooth, but you know what? Damn good lap, man. The 29.431. How many tenths between the top and seventh is ridiculous. Sam, how'd that feel, mate?
Pretty average, but that's all right. It was good to be in the top 10. I've been looking forward to doing one of these, so.
Yeah. Was it a bit of nerves?
Yeah, just trying to not crash.
Yeah.
I thought I'd
A
take it
bit of
easy.
an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, it is. It's good. But
Yeah.
got a bit too excited there, but no, at least I didn't crash. So.
No, that's
that's
good,
it.
mate. Well,
I'll say it to you this way, Sam. Last week we only saw 5 times come out, so it's not a bad thing to go in a little bit, underdone, a little bit pulled back a little bit, because you've got a time on the board. Times this week have really stepped it up a notch, and sometimes it's about how you approach the lap and how comfortable you feel, and obviously that just wasn't the lap for you. That's okay.
Locked a few breaks, but I saw last week a lot of guys made mistakes. So I thought I'd just make sure I put a lap in. But the guys have been so consistent. I was watching the broadcast, and they're doing some good laps because it's a tough track. This one, it's so easy to lock a break, and
it can make you and break you in any number of corners.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
All right, mate. Best
Well,
of luck.
thanks, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Have a good night.
Good luck.
Thanks.
So what have we got out there now, Matty Skulls?
Yeah, Matty Skulls, which says we've only got 3 drivers left to set their laps at this point in time.
0.025 behind on his first sector. That is pretty damn good.
Is
So
it
this
going to
could
be
could be a stonker.
purple through the middle? It's not purple through the middle,
No.
but he's not going to be far off. And remember, this is where we thought Whiting was the weakest, was this final sector. I think he just didn't open the corners up. His last turn wasn't great, and that's where probably he dumped all the time.
That was tight as well, wasn't it? They're not really going out wide left and cutting into right. They're sort of sitting middle of the track just there before that right-hander.
I think it's just not being able to get the car pointed. You've got so little time between trying to brake, trying to change direction, trying to get the thing pointed. The last sector was good here from Skulls. This is going to be good enough, I think, for the top 3 minimum. Where's it good enough for? It is P3. So all of a sudden, Harry Dodds is starting to look fantastic. And I tell you what, he goes P3 by 4 thousandths of a second over Matty Skulls. David Coleman. 4 thousandths of a second into P3. There is nothing between this field here tonight, and Harry Dodds will be sitting there quietly going, you know what, this could end up being a front row. Skullsy, too much time at the boat ramp, not enough time prepping for top 10 shootout laps by the sounds of things.
Yeah, a bit cautious in that first sector, and then I'm trying to chase it too much, so...
Mate, in terms of things, the lap from qualifying looked good. Obviously, only the Mag and Turbo entry of Bruce Tannick ahead of you in that qualifying session. And then Cameron McFarlane as well. Sorry, Corey McFarlane. But now, obviously, it's going to be a couple spots further back. Race ahead of you. What's the strategy?
No, I'm happy with that, mate. I just wanted to be up the pointy end, try and avoid some of the early trouble and stay alive for the first sort of 5 or 6 laps. See where it goes after that.
Righto. All right, head
No,
down.
sounds
Go get
good,
him.
mate. Good luck, buddy.
And tell Jacob Hughes he's a slacker for not showing up on Monday nights to race.
Will do.
Matty Skulls, ladies and gentlemen, for Right Sim Racing. What a lap from Skullsy. Moving on with Bruce Tennick in the Mag and Turbo entry. Qualified second place and will be the second last runner here in the top 10
Purple
shootout.
in the first sector, 0.2 up. Wow.
Oh, big wiggle there on the power coming off of the hairpin. Now into Siberia. He's hugging the curb the whole way through, just trying to get it pointed.
Well, I don't think wiggling for him is much of an issue because he's an awesome drifter, so that might be just part of his repertoire.
And just getting confirmation as well from race control, there will be a 3-place grid drop for Harry Dodds, for instance, in qualifying. So he will be 5th at best at this point in time, and it will be 7th at worst. So that's not too bad.
What was the drop for?
It was for an incident coming out of pit lane, cut across, and there was just another car there. It just wasn't aware.
During pre-qual?
Yeah, just during qualifying
damn,
session.
That's a shame. Well done.
Well, Tannic is reasonable in the middle sector. I think he's up. I think this is going to be good. This is going to put him right to the pointy end. The Mag and Turbo entry does not purple the final sector, but he doesn't need to.
He's done it. You know what? It was those two 10s he did in the first sector that just saved him. It was unbelievable.
Brucey, baby.
Bruce?
Good lap, mate. Good lap. Good for P1 at the moment.
Yeah, with that time that Michael said, I knew I could probably just get that comfortably without risking anything. I don't think I'm going to get close to a 3 or a 4, so we'll see if Corey can. I've probably given him an easy cushion now, but hey, that's only qualifying.
You were 2 10s up on the first sector. That was the best first sector so far for the night. That was crazy. And then we saw you wiggling around, and I knew you weren't going to worry about the wiggles. And you held it right through. That was killer.
Yeah, no, this track's awesome. I love it. So,
are you enjoying the top 10? Is it making it a bit more exciting, a bit more of an adrenaline rush?
Definitely when you sit there for 15 minutes waiting and then you jump in, it's got that little bit of edge to it, so it's good. Good.
Righto, Bruce. It's going to be off the front row at worst here tonight, mate. You feeling confident about that run down to turn number 1?
Yeah, well, I've got a little bit of history with Mr. McFarlane. He's hunted me a couple of times, so we'll see.
Yeah, but sometimes a little bit of drama is not the worst thing in the world.
Absolutely.
Makes for
Not for
great
us
racing.
anyway with comms.
All right, mate. Best of luck. Get that head down tonight. And who's your pick for the Ashes?
Don't watch cricket, mate.
Cricket? Scotty.
Look,
Nathan, can you get Scotty's pink slip ready, mate? If you just get one more time, he's out. We're here for race simulation, mate. We're here to watch these guys battle it out. Corey McFarlane has just set a purple with a .053. He's just gone faster than your time, Bruce, by .053 of a 10.
There's nothing in it in that first sector, man.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, he should get it comfortably, I'd say. Well, he won't make a mistake at Honda, probably, so.
Yeah. Well, good luck to you, mate. I'll be looking forward to watching you guys battle it out. I think it's going to be a very tight race.
Cool. Thanks very much.
Head down, Brucey. Best of luck, brother. Corey McFarlane, the run up to Lukey Heights. The last driver to do so there tonight. Clambers all over the curb on the left-hand side. Pulls it up cleanly. Remember, he was 3/10s clear of the field in qualifying. What have the last 2 corners got for us? McFarlane will turn it in. Back to the gas nice and early. Trying to wiggle the car all the way to the exit. Smooth handiwork. Tips it in at the final corner. It's the run to the flag. Your top 10 shootout winner. About to be decided. Bruce Tennick, Corey McFarlane. Who's it going to be? McFarlane, I think it'll be to jump to the top. Yes, he's done enough. 28.462. He gaps the field by 4/10. And Mr. McFarlane takes 2 from 2 in your top 10 shootouts, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. That is, I don't know about what the viewers think of this top 10 shootout, but I think it's bloody awesome. And just to see the times and the different styles of driving, different lines, and the amount of tenths that it's between the top 10 is ridiculous.
Mate, there's nothing in it. And then Corey McFarlane just goes out and blows them all away by a country mile. Honestly. What a superstar.
Yeah. He might be a good driver. What do you reckon?
honestly, he could take some tips from the rattle gun. Mate, I'm signing up for Corey McFarlane coaching school any day of the week. And he's not satisfied with one lap. He continues on with a second lap and goes purple in the second sector as well. He is having fun. He's doing this for fun out here, Corey McFarlane, ladies and gentlemen.
I think we should stop him, man. He's getting an extra practice run than everyone else.
Well, there's only 15 seconds left on the server, and he'll light the rear tyres up to celebrate Melville Equipment Corporation Top 10 Shootout winner 2 weeks in a row, Corey McFarlane, ladies and gentlemen. And how good was the lap for Send It Sim Sports? That was another banger from Corey McFarlane. Great job to him. He'll make his way into the commentary booth momentarily.
He's in, but his headset's off, on, then off and on. Can you hear us, Corey?
Yep, all right.
There you go. How'd that feel, mate? Which one was better, the first lap or the second lap?
Surprisingly, the second one was just pretty much just went from a race setup, took the fuel out, and it was horrible in qualifying. So for the shootout, just up the string rates massively and clicked a whole random buttons and hoped it'd feel good. So felt alright, but it's just the second lap. Second lap was feeling pretty good.
Well, you did it by 3 and a bit tenths, so that was pretty good. Up until then, it was like literally one and a half tenths between everyone as the laps were going, and you just went out and you blistered everyone.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'm guessing this format suits you. You like the pressure and going out and going out there and giving it a hot lap. That needs to put it all on the table.
Yes and no. I don't mind the shootout, but it's just sort of get out of qualifying. Just want to race straight away as well at the same time. But that's different.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Hey, what's your strategy for tonight? If you don't mind asking, tell me.
I got no clue. I don't even know how long the race is or what the format is. But just be.
So you just got to go out there for fun.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's the goal every time.
It sounds like go hard until it runs out of gas. Come back in, put more gas in it.
Yeah, I'll just try and see what everyone else does and follow them and hope that they know what they're doing. And
well, mate, that doesn't work when the rest of the field's following you. I'm sorry.
Should be right.
All right, brother. Long run down the hill into turn number 1. Feeling comfortable about trying to tip it in there. Bruce Tedek's going to be alongside you off the front row. He said this has been a little bit of history between you guys. You've rubbed panels previously. But he said he's looking forward to the battle. Does that get you spicy? Are you ready for the run of turn number 1?
I'm not really bothered who's next to me. It's just not too good off the start line, but tend to go pretty aggressive on the first lap, so I'll have a go somewhere.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Nice. Corey McFarlane does have a weakness. It's apparently the run to turn 1. That's it. That's your only chance. Get by him if you can.
There is no such thing as kryptonite for Corey McFarlane, mate.
Best of luck, Corey. Good luck there tonight, mate. Good luck. Go get him.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Corey McFarlane takes out the top 10 shootout 2 weeks in a row. Bear with us. We are going to jump to a quick ad break whilst we get ourselves all ready and into the race server now. Your top 10 shootout run and done. Corey McFarlane, Bruce Tanek, your front row. Michael Whiting and Harry Dodds will make up your second row, with Dodds to take a 3-place grid penalty. We'll be starting P number 7. That'll move up Matty Skulls and David Coleman. Coleman's going to start off alongside his team owner. Matty Skulls will start off alongside Michael Whiting, and David Coleman immediately behind the team owner. Brian Good will move his way up into P6 alongside David Coleman. And it will be Harry Dodds in P7 alongside Aiden Norris, 2 boys with H names in the top 10. We'll start off side by side. Zach McDonald and Sam Noble going to round out your top 10. We are on the run to the race server. 60 minutes of racing coming your way from Phillip Island, just on the other side of these messages. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the DSL Welding Services V8 Supercars live from Phillip Island. Top 10 shootout qualifying has now been run and done. Steven Sinkovich joining me in the commentary booth. And Steve, you were just having an interesting conversation with me. I've just heard, a little birdie's told me that we've got a prize coming and it's going to be related to our streams, except I don't know enough details and I think you're the man to elaborate on that.
Oh, unofficially. No, officially, we will have a prize drawn for when we hit our 1,000th subscriber. There'll be a special prize drawn out of our 1,000 subscribers. So even the fantastic people who joined us from week one will have a chance of winning it as well. But all the way up to our 1,000 subscriber, the aim is to get there by our event week after our season finishes. I'll let you guys sit on that for a while, and I won't tell you what the prize is just yet, but it's definitely going to be an awesome
It's $1
prize.
million. I've won the lottery. Yes, everyone else leave the building. I'm winning the prize. Get out.
Well, mate, the only
so-
prize you've won at the moment tonight is the fact that you're hosting and you can stop folding that clothing so your wife can finish it for you.
Look, okay, we were just having the... I wasn't going to say this on stream, okay, but get it, fine. If you're going to bring it up, all right, I was in an Indy car. I literally stuffed food down my gob and I started commentating. I finished eating, and that, ladies and gentlemen, if you were with us when we started the stream, I was still trying to finish my dinner when we actually went live. That's how tight for time I've been, and I've been asked to fold the clothing. So the clothing's getting folded, right? Intermissions are good for things. But anyway, yes, you have to be subscribed, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to win yourself a prize. How can you do that?
100%.
Jump over to Facebook. On Facebook, SRW, is it SRW TV or SRW just Sim Racing World? Which one are we using?
It's SRW TV.
SRW TV over on Facebook,
Just
on
go
YouTube.
Straight to YouTube, straight to SRW TV. Find us. You're probably watching us right now and probably haven't subscribed. So just get in there and press it and subscribe, like it, get your notifications and get going.
It's that simple. That simple, ladies and gentlemen. You only have to click one simple button, and that's it. That's as simple as it is. You don't have to do anything more. And then we are going to be giving away something. What that something is, well, I don't know. I can tell you I have a couple of ideas of what it might be, but I've been paid to keep my mouth quiet on that, which I don't like. I'm not great at keeping my mouth shut, Steve, just so you know.
Well, this is exactly why we haven't told you.
I get told nothing here for this exact purpose, right? You've seen...
You got to build it like a story, yeah? It's like, if you build it, they will come. And, there'll be a release during the week. We'll do a little video, and it's going to be... Look, it's going to be awesome. It's everyone that, drives in the sim racing world is going to love this, and is going to love it because it is premium. It is awesome, and it's not a series ticket or anything like that. It's an object. It is fantastic. You're gonna love it. But we'll spruik it all the way through this week coming, and it's gonna be whoever wins is gonna be a very, very lucky person.
Righto. If that doesn't get your gears going and get you excited for what's coming from Sim Racing World TV, good news. The safety car's out on track. I can tell you at this point in time, we have one car, I believe it's Tyson McAvoy, turning laps right now on the BMW GT3, which is our new and improved safety car, now with added ABS and traction control. I did hear some reports that there was a safety car off the road at some point this week. So the BMW has been brought in to hopefully allow the drivers to pull the car up more cleanly and keep it on the road.
Yes, well, obviously the promo department safety car livery isn't on this car, so we'll have to get that up there pronto. But Jake Jackson's got on YouTube, get me prize, get me prize.
Who doesn't
So,
love
Jake,
free stuff?
Get me prize, get signed up. I hope you're a YouTube. I hope you're subscribed to our YouTube, and they're going up as we speak. So get in there and get your name down on the list so that you can win a prize.
Well, look at that. Tyson McAvoy knows when he's on stream in the promo department safety car.
He's flashing his lights, but is he going to go off? Yeah, it does have promo department logos on it. Not approved by the owners of promo department. The layout is but it's still a well done effort, Stefan. I appreciate the effort, mate. But geez, that BMW looks nice. I'm spewing you didn't see the BMW I was racing on Friday night because it was in the black livery, and it was showing up on screen. The white, the red, the black livery looked awesome. Awesome.
I'm going to come out and say a couple of things to you, Steve. One, I'm disappointed in you. The BMW doesn't sound great. The front grille of it doesn't look all that great. And two, it could have been the awesome sounding Mercedes. Why was it the BMW? I'm disappointed in you. I know how much you love good sounding cars.
Pick it. I didn't pick the BMW. I've been racing the BMW because I like an easy race and need all the help I can get.
Merc's easy to drive.
But yeah, that's now since they did the updates. I got it when it was easy to drive. The Beamer. So, I'm actually going to if I race next Friday, I'll actually give it a crack in the Merc. Just because I heard it sounds sensational.
Oh, it does.
And I do love a good sounding engine. Actually, out of all the engines that are out there that I love the most, there's nothing better than the Maserati Quattro. That is got to be the best sounding engine. I reckon it's even nicer than the Ferrari. I'm talking real world here, not simulation.
I'll take it at face value because I haven't even had the pleasure of hearing anything in real life. I did get to take my wife and I, when I was living in Melbourne, did take a trip down the south coast, and we got the opportunity to. There was not a Ferrari, it was a McLaren P1, I think it was McLaren P1 or F1. The newer version of that car was down the south coast, so I got to take some photos in it, sit in the cockpit of that.
I'm going to tell you to shut up, Scotty, because have a look at that grid. Like, look at all the cars lined up. You can go through the names while I enjoy the amount of cars that are sitting on this grid at the moment. It is unbelievable. It's going to look spectacular at corner one.
1 hour is going to be the journey here tonight from Phillip Island. Off of the pole, Corey McFarlane, Bruce Tannock to his inside, actually, will be his outside. Michael Whiting, Matty Sculls, David Cullen, Brian Good, Harry Dodds, Hayden Norris, Zach Mack, and Sam Noble will be top 10. Let's get ready to send them loose on the run down to turn number 1. And Tannock got a reasonable jump. McFarlane's not gotten away all that great. Look down further back in the pack as Zachary McDonald's is going to try and slice and dice his way. The run to turn number 1. It's clean most of the way through. Will the entire field get in, get settled, and get through the first lap? Now it's down to the southern loop. One of the trickiest corners in Australian motorsport because it just keeps going and going and going. And there are cars wide at turn number 1. It looks like it might be either a TMX or an SLM livery that's going backwards and tumbling down the order. And they will have to settle themselves down. Who's going to go late braking into turn number 3, 4 for the first time? Car out, it's a TMX livery. I think that was Daniel Clutterbuck who's facing in the wrong direction.
And he's ran spot in front of his teammate.
Yep, so 2 TMX cars are not having fun down there at turn number 4. There was a whole bunch of lock brakes, a whole bunch of cars facing in the wrong direction. And now the drivers will try and pick their way through.
Looks like a Team SRW car there as well, facing the wrong way.
It'd be Brad Wall, wouldn't it?
It could be Brad or Paul. It looks like it was Brad Wall. Yeah, looks like it was Brad's dropped all the way down to 25th.
Paul Gerland's up in 15th, so it would indeed have to be Brad Wall there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, both of Sinkovic not making their attendance on the racing grid tonight.
Well,
Stephen,
Dean's not racing V8s this season. He's taking the season off.
There it goes.
I think it was the fact that I beat him in the last season.
It was Michael Quash. It was the 869 who was the car that locked brakes, I believe, on the way in there. And we got a full view of the DSL Welding Services replay, not telling the full story. There's now been a huge split up in the pack as first to 14th.
This.
It's chaos.
It's the treacherous paradise of Phillip Island.
Well,
which one of the fishies is that?
Probably Ty. Wouldn't be Ty Delaney, would it? Dylan Thomas it is that was facing wrong way around. Dylan Thomas, of course, not new to fishy racing. He's been there for a long, long time, but Connor Nixon will tell you otherwise. Another car off at the hairpin this time by... Was that Pavlovich running wide? No, that's Pavlovich in the KFC.
Pavlovich is just there.
So it was a blue car Bleakley's made up a ton of spots. It's Zachary McDonald. So Zach Mack was inside the top 10 at a reasonable run.
Down to 23rd.
Yeah, and there'll be a few guys in behind him that are starting to make some moves. Ty Delaney, I think, just grabbed a spot as the grid sort of shuffles their way through on lap number 2. And that margin between P13th has now closed. We've dropped a car out of that lead pack, which was Zach McDonald. And now it is 13th to 14th is starting to close in. So top 13 car having a little bit of a breakaway. Harry Dodds has lost a spot on the opening lap. He is still fighting extremely tight. Look at the cars off. Andrew Proctor now down on the run over Lukey Heights and into the hairpin. And there's a huge battle going on up the front end between Harry Dodds and Brian Good. They have traded spots I don't know how many times on the start-finish straight. The side draft coming out like you would not believe. NASCAR style, Steve.
Man, I don't know how you're doing this. I am just watching this and just going, wow, look at the move.
Practice,
and you're
mate.
just going and you're going and going. I'm just like, this is just unbelievable.
Seasoned professional. Takes years of practice to get this good, brother.
Yeah, a seasoned professional, just like a KFC wing.
Mate, you throw a few of those and I'll be saying, you threw a few of those at me and I'll be saying good things about you the entire night.
It's all right. My aim in the next 3-4 months is to get rid of my nickname.
Spinovich, okay, all right.
Yes.
Look, you start with a zinger box tonight and we'll talk.
God. Look how close that is. Oh.
And here it comes.
Just dived. He's
down
just
over
dived
Lukey Heights yet again. Dodds down the inside. These two are still going at it. They were side by side on the run through turn number 1 and then through the southern loop last lap, and then nearly side by side at Lukey Heights yet again. Dodds is not going anywhere. He is starting to really close in on the juiced Frog Leap racing car of Brian Good just ahead of him. And he will start hunting him down. Craig Schultz has made a few spots up.
Craig Schultz got out of that last corner. He was catching both those cars at an enormous pace. Here we go. He's caught right up to them now, bumper to bumper. He was a fair few car lengths behind, and his mate is all the way up to that corner.
And Matt Stewart was cool, calm and collected in last week's qualifying. Just barely crept his way into the top 10 shootout, started on the front row. He's known as a cool customer. He gets the nickname Chili Bin as a response to that. To see if he can...
Tell you what, he has improved dramatically. He used to...
Oh, look at the move down the inside from Mottazed on Shane Clark. So it's Shane Clark in the 888 entry. Down the inside will manage to hang on to it. Mottazed trying to rotate nicely through Siberia, will build the run, and he's had to back out of that one. Thought he might have got it done at the hairpin. He was well down the inside.
Oh, I had to shut up, mate. I was watching that go through, and I was just holding on like that. We're holding on to these steering wheels, and I completely forgot what I was going to say. But geez, that was good.
And it's going to continue on. Matty Stewart. We're talking about Matty Stewart and his improvement. He's come such a long way, and his teammate just back there in behind Brad Walls, Chris Bleakley, he's come a long way as well.
This is a tough pack here as well. They're just everywhere, isn't it?
Pinch break.
There's two gaps amongst all these cars, and they're all just bumper to bumper.
Ah, somebody's around. It was about 25th. It's Ty Delaney, was it? Or Jacob Hughes? It's Jacob Hughes that's gone around, coming down over the crest at Lukey Heights. And something further has happened to Clutterbuck as well.
Yep, he's just gone to RC. Fourth last corner, he's just speaking to RC about.
Turn 10, so that'll be the incident involving Jacob Hughes, you would imagine. Anyway, back to the head. Goods has now gotten away from Harry Dodds. The Performance Sim Racing entry now starting to come under assault from Craig Schultz. Will slide down the inside. Dodds keeps his head, hangs on to that one, picks up the throttle aggressively. That's going to light up some rear tyres, and he's going to lose 3 spots out of that one.
Wow.
This is the factor of his racing. Dodds he really wanted to work on over the last week was just being nice and clean and just chilling out. So
Dodds has just put a call into RC as well. It looks like there's a little bit of bump and grind going on out there, which we're probably missing little bits and pieces, but...
Well, 39 cars out on track. There is going to be that. Remember, the lap times around here, ladies and gents, right on that 1 minute 30. So 39 cars. 90 seconds. Gee, that's awful close to 1 every 2 seconds. It'd be just over.
Yeah, that is nuts. I'm spewing. I'm missing this race. I would have loved it out there tonight, just to let you all know. But it looks like I was probably better off being.
Oh, there's a
in
case
comms.
to answer there.
Yeah. Oh.
He's getting pushed along by Aiden Schultz, though, isn't he?
I think initially the contact was the car in the middle, and then he got a bit more love as we went around it. But I will leave that to RC and race stewards to see what they say. It's a bit hard to tell from here, but I'll tell you what, it's close everywhere. Oh, geez, that was not a good place for that car to be then. Oh, well done, Brad. Is he going to hold it? No.
He'll just slot back in behind here. Brad Walzak McDonald is on a recovery effort after that adventure on the second lap. Brad Wall still trying to settle himself down and get into that rhythm.
He's improved a lot this last part of the year. Since he got himself out of comms of us boys in the main room, he's been focusing a lot harder. He finds it really hard to drive when I'm in the room because, for some reason, whenever we come near each other, we just we tend to, tap each other and see what happens. Looks like STK's playing up again because that's Paul's old livery, which he's deleted off the system, and it's back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Legacy livery, that's what it is.
Yeah, it is. Legacy livery. Yeah. But,
oh, so drive-through penalty coming away of Mal Powell.
For car 9, yeah.
And Mal, I think, was the car that was into the rear bumper of... Was it Jacob Hughes? It was Jacob Hughes.
Yes, it was. Yeah. He just underjudged his braking point. Really fair driver. New to the league. Top bloke for a Western Australian. Looks like he's got terminal damage as well.
I think he's just letting the leaders by. He was right on where the leaders were coming through, and he's just completely and utterly getting out of their way, sidestepping everyone and say, hey, look, come on through.
Yeah. The Jishan Tai's doing well. He's up in 27th. He's got more nerve than I have, that's for sure.
Mate, I can't wait. Can't wait for the time that he gets some confidence underneath him. It'll be confidence building every single time he's out in the car. Oh, very wide here from David Blake. He's going to struggle to pull this up.
Is he going to make...
Well done. Well done by everyone there. That was Brad Wall that just checked up. That is awesome driving by Brad Wall. And that is awareness to the situation. And I cannot tell you how important that is to finishing more races. You finish more races, you get more results. And Brad Wall's done a blinder there to doing that. So that takes 2 drivers to tango to get through there. A lot of drivers will drive in there, Steve, and just say, hey, that's the other guy's fault. But at the end of the day, you both get punished for it.
Yep. The excuse me.
Chris Blakely.
It's so hard to. Like, how do you fly? You're flying across the track like that. You've got no control, and everyone's missed you. And there's so many cars. That's like you got to take your hat off to the boys.
That's what I said. It's 2 cars to tango. This is the 219 SimSports drivers in Sagasta and Bleakley going toe to toe. It's a little bit more intra-team rivalry here. Sagasta had a phenomenal round at Oran Park. He was out for a really, really strong finish. Made a few mistakes, made contact with a few people, and that's what's I've known Braden Sagasta for probably 3-4 years now, predating iRacing, and that's the big... If Braden can just start checking off that mark and stop making contact with as many people, he will turn the corner and become an awesome driver. And because you'd know, Steve, it is such a critical factor, consistency and staying off of each other sometimes.
Look, it is, look, it's that old saying, stay out of the vortex, If you get in those positions and you want to get rhythm going, you've got to stay out of the vortex. You want to stay clean and just stay in the rhythm. You've got a car that catches you within 2 laps. You know he's faster than you. Just don't fight it. Just let that car go, drift behind it, and take advantage of it. That's the way I got to drive these days. because, you know, well, 99% of the field's faster than that.
Hang on. Paul Gerland's coming into pit lane. I think this is a penalty, and I have a sneaking suspicion this might be an incident point penalty because there's nothing being issued by. Or is it a stop and hold? It's stop and hold.
No. The race control did issue something, but I don't know what it was for. There was a conversation from Paul to have a look at it, and they must have kept it. We'll get some clarity from there in a minute. Let's see if they can find out what's going on there.
I can tell you that race control have not issued a penalty to him. There's been nothing issued, so that's been assessed by the simulation. So if that's speeding through pit lane, if that's a crossing the pit lane entry line or something and then dipping back out on the track, cutting a corner is the other one that I'm worried about because that can happen at Phillip Island.
Yeah.
And that may be what it is actually. He might have just cut the course. If you cut straight through from turn 1 and rejoin after turn 2, you will be assessed a penalty. And I would say that might be what has happened, although I don't have any reason for that.
Yeah. Well, once we find out, we'll give some clarity. I'm sure the Port Patrol are eagerly waiting to see what's going on. He's back on track.
Big shout out to Pete Morris as well. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Steve, but unfortunately Pete Morris found himself in hospital over the weekend. So he will not be joining us on tomorrow night. We're actually, Nathan, Howard and I are both severely disappointed because we'll be missing our favourite little sipper meter.
So what happened?
Unfortunately a fall and seems to be broken bones. So...
Oh, no.
So, rest up from everyone at Sim Racing World, the entire crew. Peter Morris is a big part of the Fishy Motorsports gang, but most importantly, he is their leading driver in terms of the NASCAR program. And to be missing him on a Monday night is going to be it's not going to feel normal, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I know. I hear you guys all the time because I watch it on a Monday night, and I hear the G Wagon and the Sipper meter going and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, he'll be very sorely missed because I don't know what you guys are going to talk about now.
Well, I feel like the Sipper meter will still be going, whether or not he's in the sim rig. It's just a matter of there'll be no driving to go with the Sipper meter.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he's not his drinking arm that's broken.
Dave Coleman started to close in here on Matty Skulls, and these guys quite close together in terms of qualifying.
He's pulled back.
I think he was just showing the nose there from Coleman, just letting him know, this is what the front end of my car looks like. Do you want to see the rear end? Because it'll be past you in a few moments.
Do you reckon he's got that music playing in the background going as he approaches?
I thought that was just the Fishy Boys theme song.
Well, maybe I should make one for him. Good.
Starting to close in, Coleman. He's got a little bit of a turn of speed here.
He is. And it looks like I bet you, I'd love to see Scholesy steering right now. Whether he's getting a bit rougher because he looks like his tail's wagging a bit more. He's trying to get the gas down a bit earlier, and I reckon he's lost that little bit of smoothness going there.
Yep. So just trying to settle himself in.
Yeah.
A little bit of lack of tyre grip as those tyres start to fade away from Scholesy. Oh, car around there. It's Bruce Sanek in the Magan Turbo entry. So he will drop a host of spots.
He was going for cam action. That's what he was doing. Bruce had a bit of a rough trot the last few rounds, didn't he?
Yeah, he's going to come straight into pit lane. He'll jump straight in the lane and look for the undercut and for fresh rubber. Oh, car wiggling all over the place back there around Mazzomo.
Oh, is that Coleman on the outside?
No, it wasn't Coleman.
No,
surely wasn't.
Who's that? No, who's that?
Motorhead? There's Brock Motorhead. We're looking at the Sim Racing entry that was wiggling all over. And it's going to be Shane Clark who's going to send it to his inside, and that goal of the entry, the 888 machine, all the way around the outside. Brave move from Shane Clark. He's going to hang it out and around the outside at turn number 1.
Hold that. Well done.
That takes some stones, some absolute stones to send it around the outside of turn 1.
I don't know how he's held that. That was good, man. That was right on the edge. It's not over, guys. It's not over.
No, he's going to fight it back. Gets the draft up. down the inside. Had to lift out, did Montezhead, but he's still going to keep the 289 car around the outside of Shane Clark. It's not over and done with for the 888 entry. And now Matty Keane will get involved and lights the tyres up. Does
Just
Mr. Brock
touched the
Montezhead.
grass there. He just touched the grass. I was just about to say, how awesome was that? Too wide going around there, and how clean were these guys, and he's just touched the grass. That's a shame.
Good, clean racing. A little mistake from Brock Montezhead, and he drops. What's that? 9 positions?
Yeah. So the field's that close. You make that one mistake here, and you just drop 5 to 10 positions. It's like you're almost better off just trying to keep it clean and consistent, and just hold your position and hope someone else stuffs up around you.
Guy I want to keep half an eye on and keep checking in with is Bruce Tannock, because he dived straight to pit lane, roasted those tyres, and he just said, nope, that's it. I'm getting in. I'm getting fresh rubber. And now he's in behind Aiden Schultz.
One safety car. Let's go on.
Oh, off the track. That was Zach McDonald again, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So it's the second time Zach McDonald's made an unassisted excursion to the outside of the track.
Bit of pressure from Brad there. Well, Brad's done well coming back up the field. He was all the way down the back at one stage.
It's just
Bruce
consistency.
Tannock is sitting in 25th. He's just passed.
Oh, he's just made a little bit of contact with, I think that was Tyrone Walsh. And now he's right on that rear bumper of Aiden Schultz. He'll try and build the run here. Fresh rubber for Bruce Tannock, and he needs to get a wriggle on. If you're going to go for the undercut, ladies and gentlemen, you do not want to get held up by traffic. This will cost him in the overall race scenario, but he gets down the outside now.
Well done, well done.
Aiden Schultz, he'll pull it up, and he will try and escape up the road.
Oh man, I wish I had skills like that. the way he throws that car around, the way it's just unreal. Yeah, I really admire some of these drivers out there, man. The skill level that is there, it's like you can't just jump into a car and be this good. You just can't. It's like these guys practice, and they've got some natural skills, but some of these guys just unreal.
I can't do it, Steve. I can't do it. The V8 Supercar, it just annoys me. I cannot figure it out.
It's my
Carl
favourite car
White.
that I do a race at the moment. It's my favourite car, but I just don't have the skills to be up there. But I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it.
Chris Miller just ran off at Lukey Heights, right down the outside. He'll be rejoining down in 25th, so I think he's dumped 7 spots for Chris Miller.
Lukey
Michael
Heights, is that
Flash down the outside. We'll try and get on by here, fighting quite closely with the driver of the number 842 car in Linton Wills. Another new entry to the series. Alpha Venturi Racing they are.
Yes. They've embraced us in a big way. There's beautiful boys have come through.
They're clearly very happy
There's
with
battles everywhere.
their liveries, because they're called Preach designs. Well, that's how you preach. You put Preach on your rear wing. That'll call out. Down the inside from Clutterbuck. Got in there deep. That's Chris Miller, who was just off the road just a moment ago. So Miller's recovered, and Clutterbuck sensed an opportunity. Says thank you very much. Fires his way on through.
Say a big thank you to Daniel. He actually came out and visited us at the trade show last week, and took some time out with his family and came out and said hello. So we got to meet one of our fellow sim racing world drivers face to face, which was an unusual situation. Yeah. Generally, it's a voice you hear, and that's about it. And if you're unfortunate, you get to see someone like Scotty pop up on cam. But
hush you! You've already had your shot at me for the stream. Big shout out! It's just reading through the chat as well. I want to say Shani Gerland's dropped by, so the Paw Patrol has been assembling here tonight. Sean McNamara wanted to know what happened to Zach Mack. Unfortunately, Zach Mack has run wide at the hairpin on lap number 2 and ran wide at the last corner again on that most recent lap. So Zach Mack, I don't know if the first one there was contact involved, but I don't think so. There was nothing called through. Pete Morris says he needs to get a hat that can hold 2 bottles of wine with a straw in his mouth. Agree wholeheartedly. And yes, you are very much more than welcome to come and join us in the broadcast booth tomorrow night. Bruce Tannock, backwards again.
Where'd he go?
And now he is the Super Sedan race leader. Because he's no longer driving a V8 supercar. He needs a wing for that.
Yeah. He's having a rough night tonight. Very rough night.
Not easy. David Coleman's come through pit lane. Rejoins right around where Tanek was. And in this whole big Hornets nest of traffic, Tanek got clear of these guys. Nice and quickly. And Coleman is just caught. Fresh rubber, wants to show his pace.
Whitey must have jumped in the pits. Because he just dropped about 6 spots.
Yep. So, pit lane transitions starting to come through. We are 23 minutes into this race, which says 2-stopper. They will be making another trip down pit lane.
So, Noble and Skulls just swapped. No, Skulls has gone into the pits as well, by the look of it.
I think they're both in pit lane. Noble and Skullsy both in pit lane.
Yep.
Pit stop starting to come through thick and fast.
Yeah, it's all switching all over the place. So Pete Morris has got himself one of those hats with 2 bottles of wine instead of 2 bottles of beer in it.
No, he wants to get one. He wants to get one.
Okay, so I suggest if the other ones are more like a trucker's cap with 2 beers out of it, his would be like a bit of a, I don't know, a beret, maybe with 2 wines attached to it. But Jess McManaman, keen for next season's Super 2s, so we've got a list in Discord for people to put their names down for V8s for next season, Super 1 and Super 2 drivers, and there's already 50 guys on that list, so you get your names down, because Super 2's next season, will have its own top 10 shootout as well, so that should be pretty hot.
Not only will it have its own top 10 shootout, I think at this rate, with the number of drivers we've got signing up, Steve, it's going to have to be 2 separate servers.
It will definitely be 2 separate servers.
Yeah, there's no way you can
Super
combine them
2s
anymore.
will most likely be run on a separate night.
Ladies and gentlemen as well, don't forget, if you're enjoying what you see here, I'd like to point out how great the racing in the TCRs and the Radicals is. The only place, ladies and gents, that you can get to race the SR8 Radicals these days in Australia, Sim Racing World. That is it. That's the only place that you can race the SR8 Radicals. That is on a Thursday night. That is an absolute gangbuster. If you like your V8 supercars, more than likely you would have seen your Porsche Carrera Cup. That follows the SR8 Radicals on a Thursday night. Formula 3 and TCRs, not in that order, the other way around. TCR, then Formula 3 is your Wednesday night series. If you like going left again, and left once more, because generally there's 4 turns on an oval track, we've got Monday and Tuesday nights just for that. NASCAR Truck Series will be going to Iowa tomorrow night. Give me 2 moments. I'll pull up exactly where the Dirt 360 Sprint cars will be going. That's right, the Winged Sprint Dirt 360 Sprint cars will be heading tomorrow night to Weed Sport. No, that was last week. It'll be Lanier for their regular Tuesday night race. And then Friday night, we have the GT3 Series as well. First season out, and that has already filled its way up. So if you're looking to get racing in NASCAR trucks, the Dirt's 360 Sprint cars, TCR, oh, contact made! We'll jump back to the live action as Chris Miller gets bumped by, I think that might have been Zach McDonald that made contact with him. It was Bruce Tanek.
Yeah, it looked like
actually
Tanek,
made
yeah.
contact.
I think it was Tanek. He must be bustling his way through.
Got a little bit less grip when you don't have a rear wing.
Well, oh, yeah, he's moved across and tapped him. Oh, man. He's had one of those nights. No rear wing, must be making life a bit hard for him.
Just a little bit clumsy there from Bruce. Just fractionally clumsy. That's not a mistake he'd normally make. I've got to be honest.
A little bit overdriving, maybe to get back to the top end of the town.
Oh, you got to push on. You absolutely have to get aggressive to make that sort of stuff happen. Unfortunately, it's not going the right way around.
Looks like the front of the grid settled down. Looks like Whiting, Noble. Dodge has made his way to third. Has Dodd done a pit?
No.
He hasn't,
No.
so he's still got a pit due.
1, 2, 3, 4, all have not pitted. The first car to pit, Corey McFarlane,
Okay.
is the first car to have pitted. Braden Sagassa has not yet pit. And Petr Pavlovich also yet. David Blake as well. So P1 and P2 in terms of the drivers that have pit so far is McFarlane and Coleman.
Is that... Well, we're looking at a
Harry
27-minute
Dodd.
mark. Is that I'm assuming they're going to go one stopper.
No, there's no way. Because if they're going to go to a one stopper, you want to go long early. You would not want to undercut the one stopper.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. There's action afoot everywhere, man. Jeez, it's close. It's just nuts.
Yep. So everyone in pit lane.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So that says to me, either they're all working together, and there's so many different drivers across so many different teams that have just come to pit lane. That says maximum fuel distance is just shy of 28 minutes. So it is a guaranteed two-stopper. Guaranteed.
Yep. So where are my teammates sitting right now? Where's Brady Wall sitting? Brady Wall's 27th at the moment, so he must have just pitted recently as well, because he was sitting up a bit higher at one point. Paw Patrol. Paul is getting back into the rhythm by the look of it, and he's in 35th, so he was in a battle pack with Riley and Keane. So there's 3 fast drivers together.
Hang on. Matty Keane, your winner of the Super 2 Championship from last season, currently leads the way. Only driver, ladies and gentlemen, only driver to have not yet pitted. And we are 1 minute shy of reaching the half an hour mark. He is just shy of the halfway mark, and he's gone by pit lane entry. Matt T. Keane is going to pull the fuel-saving card, and he is going to go the distance. That's his strategy. He is now committed to that. Where does he pop out?
I don't know, but I could imagine there'll be a Talladega statement in there somewhere.
And McFarlane tips, ducks and dives. Matty Keane trying to save some fuel would have lifted off on the run to turn number 1 there. So Corey McFarlane will get the job back done, and we'll reassume the lead. Was that Matt Iben? That was Matt Iben running wide.
Isn't?
That is Matt
Are you
Iben.
sure?
Yeah, that's Matt Iben.
Wow.
That is Corey McFarlane on screen there. Alex Skulls back in P6. Pit stops, again, ladies and gentlemen, take Matty Keane out of this. Other than that, your pit stops have now reorganised themselves. So your corrected race strategy is back up there. Yeah. So David Coleman will be P2 effectively. Coleman's out in the sand trap at turn 4.
Yep, and someone else ran off wide as well.
And Matty Skulls has just gone by him. It was Iben. It was Iben once again. So Matty Iben is struggling. I think he's trying desperately to come back into the pit lane and grab some fresh rubber, because those tyres will be screaming after 2 separate moments in the first half of a lap, this lap alone.
Wow. It's the timing board is just going all over the place. It's trying to settle down because there's people in out swapping positions all over the place, and to keep track of it is absolutely nuts. Matt Whiting, Scholesy and Coleman fighting it out, and there's literally, 1/10, 1.5 tenths between them.
Wow, they've started to really spread themselves out all over the track. The entire track now covered, completely and utterly covered.
You know what? It's Dave Coleman's into race control.
So that'll be for the incident in the last lap, for sure, 100%. So.
Yeah. Right, so having a few blue flag issues by the look of it, and race control just giving them a reminder that try to back out and get out of the way as cleanly as possible.
Matty Skulls has dropped in behind Dave Coleman again, so Coleman's picked up that spot. So I think Skulls just had issues with lap traffic. Right there was one of the issues. Because he was off. That's unforced errors starting to creep in for a lot of these guys. Steve, it's an hour-long race. We're 30 minutes into it. V8 Supercars are a handful for a sprint race, let alone an enduro.
And on this track too, mate. There's just so many corners in this. You miss your breakpoint marker. Nice and clean pass. Scotty and I both shut up then because it was the race control. We're both trying to see
Oh yeah, there's stuff going on left, right, and
there's action all over the place. And what you people out there, viewers that you're seeing, is that there's a lot of action on screen, but there's a lot of action off screen as well. So it's crazy.
So head down, bum up is the call from a lot of the drivers now, especially Coleman's dropped a few spots now. He'll be coming up in the lap traffic of Jacob Hughes, trying to settle himself back in.
The Dykey's asked a few questions online. Our illustrious producer is buffeting up iRacing as hard as he can, Jamie. So we'll see what we can do there. But yeah, wow. This go for it, Scotty.
I was going to say, I can tell you Coleman's just starting to pick his way through some more traffic, trying to close down onto Michael Whiting. So Whiting's made his way into the top 3 at this point. Sam Noble's 15 seconds back from Corey McFarlane, and Whiting is starting to close in on Noble. So that battle's going to continue to rage. Coleman's doing his best to try and hunt those guys back down again. Scalzi's up to V5. Matty Stewart is the first 1-9 car. So still going on up and down the field. I think probably the place to sort of focus at this point in time, Sam Noble from P10 on the grid up to second place at this point in time. That is an enormous drive. Matt Stewart has halved his starting position, P12 to P6. Braden Sagassa started in 13th, dropped a long way back, and has now brought himself back up to P14, so nearly back where he started. So it's been an okay night at the office. Brian Good's gone a little bit backwards. Harry Dodds is having a quiet night, and I don't mind that from Harry Dodds.
No, I was about to say the same thing. It's good to see him just putting the grind in, doing some laps, getting the rhythm going. I was just looking at Matty Keane sitting in second. A pit stop cost you 14 places. He dropped all the way to 14th. It just shows you how close the grid is.
Well, I can tell you as well, Dean Reddit, 25th down to 12th. Oh, Mal Powell! Another moment at Honda, and he'll rejoin the track.
I'm glad you know the name of the corners because I've got no idea. And I should know them because I'm the one who spends a lot of time on the grass.
So, settling in once again, Clutterbucks. It's been an awesome drive back through the field from Clutterbuck. It's not been an easy drive, mind you.
What's going on, Pavlovich? 25th. He's having a bit of an off season, don't you think? So far.
Yeah, this hasn't been like Peter, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, Peter.
He's
that was Matty King.
I think he's overdriving it a bit, maybe.
Peter Pavlovich? Ah, look, I mean, 2 races in. Oran Park is not an easy track, and then down side by side yet again. Zach McDonald's for 9.5. Sim Sports trying to get a move done here on Walsh. And Tyro Walsh not yielding.
That was hard, man. The pace of that corner, and they're still onto each other like, wow. I've got to shut up sometimes because my phrases are going to come out and weren't going to be appropriate for TV at this time of night. And if you hear me just go nothing and then just wow, you know I was going to say something inappropriate. But
here we go. Michael Locke's gone off track. Matty Keen's back to 15th. Still trying to settle back in. So he's fuel saving. He's in a nice little pack here. This is perfect. This is where he wants to be, Matty Keene. He will have fresher rubber than the cars that he's around, so he'll be able to maintain station and fuel save with these guys without dropping too much time. So perfect spotting from Matty Keene.
So Matty Keen's not going to the pits anymore, you reckon? So he's going to make it to the end?
Yeah, I reckon he's going to make it to the end, 100%.
You reckon he's going to make it to the end? So the guys that went 2-3 laps previous to him, you can another stop.
Yep. Yep,
So
I would
if he
say
plays
that.
his cards right, he could get those 15 spots back and get himself to at least, depending on his pace, somewhere in the top 4.
I don't think 4. The problem is when you're fuel saving and you drop pace, I reckon he'd pop back out probably around 6th, 7th is my best bet.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's a long way to go. And remember, if anyone comes charging at him in the last couple of laps, he's going to have no power to fight them back because he's hanging on to scraps of fuel. Craig Schultz missing a little bit of paint off the left-hand side door, so it hasn't been the cleanest of nights for Craig Schultz, but he is plus positions. He's up 4 spots, so you'll take that.
Oh, where's the mid-pack going? So, Matty Stewart, Schultz, Dodson back to 8.
The whole field is the mid-pack, Steve. There are 30 cars in the mid-pack.
Yeah. I'm looking at the guys coming through. So Bruce Tannock's has got himself
here we go.
back up to 9.
Drivers starting to dive in for their final stops, and Craig Schultz is going to be one of them, looking for the undercut. I did see Clutterbuck dive into pit lane as well, I thought momentarily. My eyes deceive me. Chris Miller and Michael Quash will dive into pit lane.
Tell you what, Brad Wall's improved his close driving. Like when he's racing side by side with cars, in the past, like last season and not last season, earlier this year, it would be where he would let his concentration go and go off track or something like that, or try to avoid a touch. And I'll tell you what, his close racing skills have improved dramatically.
Brian Good. And that battle that he was going on with Harry Dodds, looks like Harry Dodds finally got the better of that one. But how good's the fight back from Bruce Tannock?
Ninth. It's like, and he hasn't had a good clean night either. We're talking about someone who's spun 2-3 times.
Oh, add another one to that count.
Did I?
We spoke about him and he's off track.
Oh man. I was about to say, he's for someone who's spent a lot of time in the dirt tonight, he's done really well.
Well, he heard you say dirt, and he went, dirt? Dirt?
Yeah, he's locked up. I don't know what he's done there. That looked a bit weird. It looked like he...
Downshift.
Yeah, something went weird. It didn't look like a normal lockup, did it?
No, 100% it was a downshift. And he would have had, when that's happened, he would have had the fraction, so much of a tiny margin of the wheel to the left-hand side, and the whole car just instantly pivots that way.
Yeah.
And you only have to have 1 or 2 mils of left-hand down. Only 1 or 2 mils, that's enough. The car will just go, I'm not perfectly straight, and it's the instant you get a tiny bit of lock, that's exactly what will happen. Be downshift for sure.
Yeah, 100%. While I remember, got to thank our sponsors, our advertising partners, and DragonRC, who have been with us from day dot as a round sponsor for the V8s. Hats off to them. They've stuck through with us all the way through. Our new sponsors, Melville, that have jumped on the big way with the V8s for the top 10 shootout. Warren and Brown, who invited us last week to the Motor Classic, and it was a sensational event. A lot of fun, a lot of people. We met a lot of people that were really keen on the story of sim racing world and how we race and everything like that. Really liked it. And then the support we got from new sponsors like Toyo Sim supplying us hardware for the whole event, and Racecraft supplying us a complete rig and seat. So it was all our sponsors. Community-wise, guys, get behind them because they embrace the community of SRW. And they'll do anything to help us, and they're fantastic people as well. And don't forget our naming rights sponsor, DSL Welding, who have been with us even pre-SRW days, and my fledgling company that'll actually have its website active in the next few weeks. So you'll be able to go on there and actually see something for a change.
Yeah, it's been an awesome story, the growth. And Steve, something I'd like to pitch to you at some point is, I'm sure DragonRC would love getting on board. You've obviously seen the ad by this point. I love the cars. I love the RC cars. I look at that and I'm just like, man.
I did the ad, mate.
You did the ad? Well, I actually have some of my buddies that taught me to oval race do dirt oval racing with RC cars in the States.
It is a huge sport, man.
It is over there. It is massive. Unfortunately, in Australia, it's not anywhere near as much. It's a lot easier, I will say, to go travelling internationally or interstate with RC cars than it ever is a race car or a motocross bike. I've done it
This
with
is true.
motocross bikes too often to count. But still, it's a big thing. How about we get a Jumpy Trucks? Battle on stream at this point in time is Dylan Thomas, and I think that's Clutterbuck. Yeah, it is Thomas and Clutterbuck. So the recovery drive.
A little bit of luck up there.
And Zach McDonald coming back through as well. So McDonald has finally resettled himself and he's got the eyes forward. The nerves have started to settle for Zachary McDonald. Wants to go racing. Does not do well in the top 10 shootouts, but he loves going racing for 9.5 cents.
Clutterbuck's going to go for it. Has he made it? They've given
Drives
each
it
other
to the
space.
inside. Huge amount of space offered to Dylan Thomas, and they'll both get through there. Clutterbuck gets the job done.
Well done. Daniel, I might say, Daniel's loving the series. He's only new to the series, and he's loving every minute of it's here. And it's yeah, good on him. His quality of his driving is really good.
Zach McDonald will be sensing this will be an opportunity. Clutterbuck's got through. He'll be lining up for a crack at Dylan Thomas as well here in just a few moments. Crest the rise at Lukey Heights. Look at how early Thomas is on the brakes to get that car pulled up. Pinches the front right. That's going to present an opportunity, but it won't be down here. There's a car off on the left-hand side there as well. Yeah, who was that? Poor Gerwin.
Oh, Paul, you're not having a good night tonight, is he?
No, and I was just about to say the opportunity presented by that lockup for Zach McDonald won't be until turn number 1, but he is just not quick through that final sector and the run. So struggling by the looks of things, not getting enough air to the splitter.
He was right in the back of on Thomas, and he came in that last corner and they just pulled away, didn't they?
So anyway, from McDonald, he'll settle himself back in and try and continue to pick away at that spot. Recovery drive has been awesome. It's just, yeah, unfortunate that he's had to go for it. Hayden Norris is now going to go down the inside. Chris Mira. Is this Hayden Norris has made his pit stop? It might be, actually. No, pit on lap 26. That was a fair while. No, it was 3 laps ago. So he has completed his stop. So this is Hayden Norris now on with fresh tyres, charging forwards. So the drivers you start to see there, ladies and gentlemen, with 2 or more stops, they are now done for the night. And if your name is Matty Keane, you only need a 1 next to your name in that stop column.
Yeah, and he's made his way up to 11th. So there's a fair few boys up the front. There's a few guys that are definitely going to have to get a pit. Look at the gap McFarlane's got now.
Is that just me, or has Bruce Tennick finally reattached the rear wing to that thing?
I think he went into pit.
Oh, coming down the inside from Mottershead. He is not going to let Bruce Tennick have this one early. He blocked that the whole way. Tennick had to rethink his life, rethink his decisions, and he rethinks getting back to the accelerator. Down the inside, side by side at the last corner at Phillip Island. You never see this work. Still trying to get in behind. Brock Mottershead finally will do so. Brad Wall goes to pit lane. Tyrone Walsh goes to pit lane. Now Tennick will be forced to go the long way round at turn number 1. Still hanging in there, still trying to find that opportunity, and that is a very well defended Brock Mottershead. Tennick's got to find a way through.
I'll tell you what, he's not scared of putting his nose in places, is he? He's got so much car control. He just
now
lets you know there.
And the expected behaviour right here from Brock Mottershead will be to try and cover off the inside, but this time, Tennick's there. He's far enough alongside, and he parks it on the apex.
You know what? That's enough to put anyone off there racing. The way Bruce gets in there, and the car control he's got, and shows his nose, and it gets in the back of your head, and that's where he's won that fight with Mottershead.
Well, driver number 818, Dylan Thomas, he's just reported an incident that he's had. Clutterbuck's now a little way ahead of him, so it wouldn't surprise me if Clutterbuck might have just nudged the rear bumper of Dylan Thomas. I thought it was ahead of Clutterbuck.
Thomas?
Oh, Zachary McDonald, because McDonald's just redressed it. And Brian Good and Harry Dodds? No, Brian Good being followed by Matty Keane, who is continuing that fuel-saving strategy. That has worked really well for Matty Keane. So, yeah, DragonRC, to get back to the point that I was going to make, Steve, DragonRC could sponsor a sim racing version of what they do. Speaking of DragonRC, that right there, Steve, we have that on iRacing, you know.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And we've done it. And I was really shit at it. No surprise.
Half of the course, yep.
That fight is still coming up.
No, it's not. That's a different driver. Different driver. So, Tannick's now caught,
Tannick's
overtaken.
passed him as well.
Another sim racing driver.
They're good. To tell you what, the right team are a good team as well.
You can say they're all right.
They're always in there. They're always got their hat in the rink, and they're always doing their darnest. They're pretty amazing drivers. Look, they're all pretty amazing drivers, and I'm just glad they're all in our league.
Some of them aren't in the league. Some of them are still hanging out at the boat ramp. That ongoing joke in London.
I'm not even going to ask. Yeah.
Look at that battle.
Which one, mate? Which one?
Reddit's going to keep tracking down Bruce Tannick. Tannick might have got by, but he hasn't gotten away, and Sagassa's the next car in front. Sagassa might be having some internet issues at this point in time. Corey McFarlane in to his final stop. Michael Whiting's going to come in as well. Just about the whole field. Everyone's deciding. So Whiting's got by Noble now on track. So he will take over P2 because Sam Noble did have that for a fair while. Mazomo might be continuing on here. We'll have to keep an eye on it. And indeed he will. So Simon Mazomo will chalk up one lap led. No, Corey McFarlane's already out of pit lane and on the run to turn number 1. So Mazomo will not get the opportunity to lead a lap, but he will move up to P2. Now this is critical. Where does Keane pop out of all this?
That's what I was about to say as well. I'm watching Keane. He's still sitting in 11th, so, but he's right on the back. I think he's got a better. I can't see it right now, but I think there's a fair gap between him and the car in front of him.
It's just over a second. Just over a second for Brian Good.
Yeah.
And Brian Good has made his final stop, ladies and gentlemen. So he is effective ahead. Chris Miller's off again. So
Mr.
Brad
Wall moving up the grid again. Well, he's the sole Team SRW driver left in the grid.
I will say tonight, Steve, been a little bit of a tale of two races because there's a whole bunch of guys. Actually, I'm gonna step back. I think it's a tale of 3 different races for 3 different kinds of people who have ended up in different situations. There's been a whole bunch of drivers that have had standout drives. I'm looking at Corey McFarlane's, Michael Whiting, Matty Stewart's done a phenomenal job. Really, really impressed with the way that Matty Stewart has driven. He's up a ton of spots. You've got your drivers who have had a really, really quiet night. I'm looking at Matty Keane. I'm looking at Harry Dodds. I'm looking at Craig Schultz. All those guys, really sort of nice, quiet, haven't appeared all that much. And then you've got drivers that have just not had a good night. Chris Miller, Bruce Tannick. Who was the other one we saw a few moments ago? Zach McDonald, unfortunately. So
looks like Tannick's just gone off, and
hang on, here we go. So this is Noble versus Matt Stewart. Hang on, is Matt Stewart on the fuel save run as well?
He's up 7 places.
Actually, he pitted on lap 26, so Matt Stewart has made his final pit stop. So he was looking for an undercut. It hasn't quite worked. He's just popped out behind Sam Noble, but Whiting has taken control of P3. Simon Mazomo still to make his final stop, ladies and gentlemen. So don't lock him into that spot just yet. He may actually pop out right where Noble and Stewart are. So that battle will increase potentially to 3 cars. And ladies and gents, we are 8 minutes away from the end of this race, and we have not seen the Permanent Department safety car.
I know. I was expecting it to come out at least 2 or 3 times, but you know, it's come out for the second lap, whatever it was. That's it. There's some spectacular. You know what? Harry Dodds is having a really good, consistent race.
We haven't mentioned him. I can't believe it.
He's been sitting around about that 8th position, keeping his head down and keeping in a really good place. He's only 1 spot down from where he started on the grid, But that's damn good.
Well, he's about to have company though with Dave Coleman right underneath that rear wing.
Yeah.
And Coleman will want to get a hurry on, and this is a battle actually, because Craig Short, Coleman, and Dodds are all competing for spots.
And they're very tight.
And Skulls is the next car on the road as well. So this is 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, ladies and gentlemen. 4 cars, not covered by the closest of margins, because Skulls is a few car lengths way up front there. Gets past the lap car there, in the middle of everyone. Mazomo, by the way, ladies and gents, has just pit as well. So he will drop all the way down. Now that battle pack continues to build. Coleman is getting held up here, and there was a big wiggle from Craig Schultz. So that will light up some rear tyres. He's made his final stop. Coleman's got the freshest tyres in this bunch, and there's a laps car in the mix as well. Yeah, there is a laps car. Oh, that's good. David Coleman's going to get a wiggle on, and they will make contact between both himself and Harry Dodds, and Dodds will lose the spot. They both lose time now to Craig Schultz.
Who did the wiggle?
Both of them.
Both of them. That was
no
some close
foul.
racing there, man. That was some really close racing.
So Mazomo feeds back out in P number 11 from second place. He now has to go hunting because Matty Keener's ahead of him on the road. And Keener's made his way inside the top 10 with that fuel strategy. Brian Good's 11 seconds back off of Harry Dodds. So it looks like 5, 6, 7, 8 is going to be the place to keep our eyes for the next little bit, because Stewart's now dropped a little way off of Matty Skulls. The Skulls will disappear a little bit.
What's going on with Corey there?
Skulls ran a 30.1 on that last lap, a 30.6 for Stewart. Corey McFarlane.
So is Corey pitted? Yeah, he's just
No.
out now.
No.
Well, he's in the pit now.
No, just ignore that, Steve.
What the hell just happened?
Yes, welcome to iRacing, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, a few cars servers failing to generate the images of all cars at all times. It loses timing on them for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll forgive the iRacing gods for that one moment of lapse, but don't do it again.
It's going to do it every lap, Steve. Just settle down.
Don't mess with my SRW. Matty Keynes, look, his car's looking clean. He hasn't scuffed it yet, so he's having a nice clean race. But we won't talk about it because I'll probably put the Moz on him.
You've learned. Good for you. You've learned what a commentator's curse is and how to apply
He's just
it.
dropped 2 spots. Doddsy's just lost a spot to Goods.
Everyone's sort of chilling in and about at the moment. Coleman's starting to come back at Craig Schultz as well. So, Sim Sport driver doing exactly what it says on the tin, sending it into Sim Sports. Corey McFarlane is 17 and a half seconds clear, of Michael Whiting. So we're your Fishy Motorsports driver at the moment with P2. We're under 5 minutes to go, which means that we are now locked out of getting a promo department safety car. Incident now happens requiring a driver to tow. Bad luck. You got to tow.
Man, this race has gone quick. You just don't get a second to breathe in here. You just see action after action after action.
Yeah, when can I get my oxygen tube, Steve? Is that SRW provided?
No, Greg Leake's got that. You're going to have to ask him.
Oh, it's
Matty
on loan
Kane
at the
has
moment.
dropped down a few spots. He's gone. No, good old SDK playing up again. All right. How's Bruce going? Has he made his way back a bit?
Bruce Tonic is up to 14th. And Dylan Thomas and Zachary McDonald. McDonald's, again, one of those drivers we mentioned before, has had a tale of woe unfold in front of him, unfortunately, tonight. Round the outside. Dylan Thomas, he's going to hang it out there. He's going to try and stay out there, but it's a long way around the outside of the southern loop. You will get the run on down the straight, but you're going to be on the outside of the kink. Is he going to have to lift Dylan Thomas? I think he just might. Down the inside now for Zachary McDonald. And gets it done at the apex.
Great driving, both those guys. Hats off to them, mate. That was really clean, really nice driving.
So another spot for Zachary McDonald. We'll pick that one back up. Brad Wall's up to P16.
Yeah, he's slowly making his way through, and looks like he's got. There's 3 of them just sitting there side by side again. I tell you what, the boys haven't been shy about going side by side tonight. At Phillip Island of all places.
And they're still finding it out. Clutterbuck will finally take that one away. But I think David Blake has lost 2 spots this lap. He started the lap in P16. He's dropped 5 seconds on the last lap. So something has happened to Blake on that last lap. His next job will be to try and settle down and follow in behind Craig Schultz and David Coleman. The recovery drive from Coleman now. He may not have the joys of the nicknames of his stablemates. He may not be a male model. He may not be a bus driver, but boy, can he drive a V8 supercar.
That's who's missing tonight, eh?
Oh! Schultz will step on the loud pedal. And now he puts himself
in the entrance.
On the outside there at the last corner. They'll both make it through. Neither of them will take to the grass, and Coleman takes away P6.
Nice done.
And I think we've got 2 laps left to go because we've got 1 minute and 15 seconds. And where's our race leader? He's just come through Honda. So I think there's 1 more lap to go after this lap.
Unfortunately, sorry guys, but we haven't been spoken about Corey McFarlane and Michael Whiting. They've just been out on their own at the front there, even though there's a fair bit of gap between them. But Michael's like 7 seconds away from Noble. So, and Corey is 18 seconds ahead of Michael. So them 2 are just having a good old cruise. But everyone else is fighting for major positions, minor positions, positions down the back. It's just everywhere. Everyone's trying to get that extra position. And there's 2 laps left to go.
Dylan Thomas is still trying to chase down David Blake. Will run wide at the last corner. So another spot for Dylan Thomas. One flag from Barney the flagman. As Corey McFarlane's just behind that group. So that's why the white flag was out there, and she's a waving. They say don't give it up until the fat lady sings. She is warming up, ready to enter stage left.
I don't know why they say that, the fat ladies. Have you watched opera before? It's all the fat guys, really.
You've been watching the wrong portion of the opera, my friend. But it has been the Corey McFarlane show as he comes through Honda for the last time here tonight. In behind, Matt Iben will drop off the road once again. Christopher Bleakley's just been lapped by our race leader, and that's Brock Mottershead immediately ahead of them. So they will fight it out over this here white flag lap back to the start-finish line. There's the man of the hour on screen. Dominated the pole position from Oran Park. Dominated again here tonight from Phillip Island. And he is going to go ahead and chalk up race win in the endurance round. Drifts it up and over Lukey Heights. He's in celebration mode. He's got 18 seconds and he wants to burn them.
Wow.
Lights up the tyres. Corey McFarlane.
Oh, well done, son. Well done, son. He must be listening to us. I think he's just drifting that like crazy. Well done.
That is how you drift a Ford Mustang V8 Supercar, ladies and gentlemen. Corey McFarlane from the last corner. There's the flagman, and there's the celebratory lights flash. She's been watching Jamie Knight celebrate, I think.
That is an epic drive. Epic drive. He's kept it clean and just kept going.
How about this from Michael Whiting? Blows an engine in the top 10 shootout last week from Oran Park. Gets the job done in qualifying here today. Finishes P number 2. Sam Noble currently running in P3. Convincing margin for Sam Noble, and that is a drive from 10th on the grid up to 3rd. He deserves to celebrate there tonight. Matty Scholes' best finish in a good while in the V8 Supercar will come home with P4. And 12th on the grid for Matty Stewart. Missed out on the qualifying into the top 10 shootout.
Oh, there's still a battle there for Brad Wall for minor placings. Brad's just overtaken Dylan Thomas in one of those corners at the back end. But I don't think Dylan's going to let that go. He's going to keep hunting Brad down. But that was a killer move by Brad.
Yeah, well, Thomas has got to look at that SRW rear bumper. Is he going to send it? It's the last lap. You've got to cover it off. Brad Wall does so. Both of them break lane into the last hairpin. They're still side by side. The run to the final corner. Who's going to get the run off the last corner?
To the finish.
Dylan Thomas has the spot to take. Brad Wall's not going to get caught sleeping. Here comes the run. He's going to run out of meterage, or is he? They are side by side at the line.
Well
and it is going to be Brad Wall by absolutely nothing. You want to know? It's 0.03 of a second. Exactly.
Oof. See, that's what I mean. There's racing from the top to the bottom. There's a battle everywhere in this field. That's how tight this field is, and it is awesome to watch. Take my hat up to those two boys. They did really well there. Really well. Good, clean, door-to-door racing. Well done. So, my understanding is that by the time we get to next round, we should have the AMs and the pros sorted. So on screen you'll have your AMs and pros designated, and you'll be able to see where the battles are for the rest of it.
Well, he wasn't content with sliding it through the last sector of the lap. Now he's going to put on a show for us at the start-finish line. Corey McFarlane
sitting there doing some burnouts at the line. Nice.
And that is the view.
I love it. I might just say this was my idea for the top three to finish off at the line there, and I reckon it looks fantastic.
I'll put it to you this way, Steve. They're a lot safer without you out there. I remember back to Suzuka. You were quite intent upon.
I think I just heard Corey blow his engine.
Yeah, you did.
Nice work. Oh, here goes Michael. He's gonna see if he can pop his.
He wasn't content to blow it up in qualifying last week. He's also going to do it post-race this week.
Oh, well done. Well, that was awesome. I could hear the boys in the background just congratulating each other for the fights all the way through from the top to the back of the field. So, well done.
Ladies and gents, Phillip Island has been run and won. Corey McFarlane will sit atop the pecking order from the island. It's cold, it's wet, it's windy down there in the southern part of Australia, down on the south coast and just to the eastern side of Melbourne. MotoGP was held there this weekend. We saw the return of Casey Stone to the island to go out and have some fun, and these drivers got to have their opportunity. Michael Whiting for Fishy Motorsports. Well, it is an island, and the fish, they tend to swim quite well out there. Sam Noble will line up in the 9.5 Sim Sports entry on P number 3. Matty Skulls in the right Sim Racing. There'll be a ride on down there because he missed out on the podium. The Chili Bin brings it home in P number 5. David Coleman, the second of the Fishy Motorsports drivers, followed by Harry Dodds. A quiet night for Doddsy, and that's a good night for Harry Dodds, P7. Craig Schultz dropped 2 spots late on in the running with the battle with David Coleman. Must have run off the road somewhere. It finishes in P8. Simon Mazzomo for 9.5 Sim Sports. They managed to get 3 drivers into the top 10, the only team to do so tonight. Bribing Good, the privateer, home in P number 10. That's your top 10. The fuel-saving strategy for Matty Keane, for those of you who are following along at home, playing on your bingo card. Will Matty Keane do a fuel strategy tonight? Yes, was the answer. P number 11. Dean Reddit, Braden Sagassa. Bruce Tannock drives all the way back through the field to P number 14. Hayden Norris didn't have a great start to the night, drove back up to P15. Daniel Clutterbuck was also coming back through things after an incident on lap number 1. Brad Wall got his way up to P17. What a battle to the line with Dylan Thomas. Brock Mothershead and Christopher Bleakley round out your top 20. And it's time to talk to the podium, and we'll be talking to Sam Noble first. Steve, you want to take this one?
No, I'll let you go, man. I enjoy watching you not breathe.
Sam, it was a cracking battle there tonight, mate. Started in P number 10. Qualifying didn't go the way that you'd planned, obviously. Wasn't quite up to your standard, but the race was, and that's what counts.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, it was an awesome night. Stuffed up qualifying, but I had a good jump off the start. Made up a few spots in the first few corners, and just tried to save fuel to go one stop. And then I stuffed up the GRT pit stop and short field, which I think actually worked out well for me because maybe I jumped quite a few, and then was managed to hang on.
Mate, what a run! That was awesome. Let's talk about it. 9.5 Sim Sports, only team tonight to have 3 cars inside the top 10. That's good teamwork, good strategizing, good planning, good practice. So do you hunt as a pack as well?
We should. I think all the guys are pretty. We haven't practiced all week together, but we should actually get together and form a plan and strategy. But I think we all just jump on and have fun, and hopefully we finish in a good spot.
Phillip Island, not easy to keep the car on the island. We saw that from a few guys tonight. The secret's obviously just drive it a little bit, under drive it, and worked out well for you.
It's a tough track. I always find those long flowing corners in a supercar hard because you can, just get on the throttle too early like I did in qualifying, and the rear just snaps out, and they're not really well designed for long flowing tracks. But anyway, I came third, so I can't complain.
Mate, what were the rear tyres telling you at every pit stop there tonight?
Actually, I was having more trouble with the fronts. I think.
Oh, really?
I always had a tendency to turn in a bit early and cook my fronts. So, yeah.
Well, if you come up with a secret to solve that, let me know, because I had the same issue. Don't worry.
Okay, yeah, teach me as well.
Yeah, I turn early and go to the grass.
She's got a lot of culture though. The track. She's got a lot of history and heritage. You feel every bump. You feel every bit of curbing because you've got to be mounting the curbs all over the place. But it's enjoyable to drive. But it's difficult. Sure, is what I meant to say. But it's enjoyable, sort of difficult.
Exactly. Yeah, it's good fun. It's one of those tracks when you get it right, it feels awesome. Yeah, you can just literally just pinch a brake, come into a corner, and you're off into the tyre wall. So it's like a risk reward type of track.
Tell me, with the amount of cars on track, was there a second that you could just lapse in concentration, or was it just all the way through, just focus?
Yeah, just sort of focus on your markers, and because it's easy just to daydream and end up in the ocean. So, but yeah, a few of the lappers need to read the rule books about blue flags. That'd be great. Yeah, a few close calls with. I thought they were getting in my way, but they weren't, and having to hit the brakes and doing a few tank slappers. So, but no, it makes it more interesting as well.
Good truth.
And Sam, what an awesome drive, mate! Congratulations on the P3. Who makes it possible for 9to5 Sim Sports?
I'd just like to thank Sean again, Racecraft Simulations, Turn-In Race Apparel, SW Graphics, Racing Ears, Custom Ears Protection, and Cutting Edge Tracks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Noble, driver of the 953 for 9to5 Sim Sports, finishes in P number 3. Well, that's the sentence. 9to5 Sim Sports finished in P3, 953. There you go.
Thanks, boys. Have a good night.
Destined to be, Sam. Have a great night, mate.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Moving right along, we talk to a fishy driver just about every week on a Sunday night, and this week it's not the same ones that we've been used to. Michael, come on, the team have got a nickname for you, surely. What is it?
Got to be Kingfish, isn't it?
Yeah, not something that I'm aware of.
Done. It's Kingfish. I like it too much, Stephen. Kingfish, done.
Michael, we've actually met in real life.
Have we really?
We have, mate. We'll talk about it off comms, but I realised the other day that we have met.
Okay.
But it was good to see you blow your engine up after the race instead of during the
No. That was Corey, not me.
Oh, didn't you blow yours as well?
No.
I was hoping yours went pop as well. I thought you guys were going to do like fireworks for us.
No, we've had a chat to the engine builder, and we have come to an agreement.
Did you have a Mike Larkin moment and just had to have a chat, did you?
Yeah, I walked in with a fistful of 50s and said, listen, we need to make this stop happening.
Oh, okay. You got a fistful of 50s. I got dollar coins.
They're Monopoly 50s. Don't get too excited.
Oh, okay.
Look, mate, it's always fun and games down at Phillip Island. Kingfishers, apparently they fly over quite well, and it's good fishing down there.
Yeah, look, I thought it might have been able to get to a one stop, which means I probably would have jumped Corey in the stop. But with about 12 minutes to go, I looked down and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to have to stop. So dived in, grabbed some tyres and a bit of fuel and come back out. I knew the guys, I think it was Simon, that ended up in P2. I knew he'd have to pit again. The guys behind me, I was saving ball race, so I had the stop covered. So I was only going to lose P1, or not really lose it, but not get it. So yeah, P2 was a good result.
Yeah, it was especially at this track because it's not very forgiving. It's one mistake and you're off. So you tick-tocked it all the way through. It was on point all the way through.
Yeah, you certainly can't drop a wheel off at this track. You'll end up in the fence. So yeah, you got to make sure you hit all the apexes and brake markers. So it's a good race.
Good. So was it going to be your race or Jamie's race if you came on tonight?
Oh no, we'll race together. He's been doing Scops. He hasn't had a great night, so got caught up with a couple of incidents. So it's a bit of an advantage to get in front of the boys while they're doing Scops. I elected not to do it this week. Not a favourite track of mine, so
nice. Get a few extra points on them.
Correct.
Well, I wish them good luck. I hope they didn't do a completely bad night because we like our drivers going out to other leagues and other series and kicking some ass, so it's good. I like it.
Overall, I think they had a good result, which is good.
Excellent.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Whiting for Fishy Motorsports. And Michael, I know the other guys do quite a good job of the sponsors, so you're going to get watched here and judged on this performance on the sponsors, mate. Who makes it possible for the team?
Mate, if I get it wrong, there's something to be said, certainly.
Yeah, exactly. You're being watched. You better get it right, mate. I don't get ours right, so no pressure.
To our main sponsor, West End Motor Group, DC Shades, Relax Marine Game Fishing, Precision Sim Training, Infinity Designs, Adrenaline Images, and also Battery Warehouse, Early Beach. That's it.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice.
He's nailed it.
Yep.
Also, Dylan wants to say it's Mr. Fish, apparently.
No,
Mr. Fish.
Sir Fish.
Mr. Fish.
Sir Fish. The big fish.
Something like that, yeah.
Congratulations, mate, at the P2. Great drive
Cheers,
here tonight from Phillip Island, and have a lovely Sunday night.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, boys.
Take care, mate.
And finally, we talked to him at the top of the show. We talked to him about how good the lap was. We talked to him about how he's on top of the world at the moment. And, well, he's also on top of his drifting skills. Hint, hint, Bruce Tannock, if you're listening, you might want to talk to this guy because he seems to be able to drift this thing around the last couple of corners. Yeah, we caught all that, Corey. That looked like fun, though.
Yeah, it was good fun. So I sort of had cooked 3 tyres on the last lap or two, so I figured a bit of drifting won't hurt too much.
When they're already gone, you may as well just finish him off a little bit, mate. It looked quite cruisy out there in front. You just sort of chilling out, having a good drive, but nice and pointy. You kept it pointed in the right directions at all times, and that's just about all it takes.
Yeah, got off the start line pretty well, which was surprising, and then just from there on, I was just kept tyres under it, and was able to pull away towards the end of the stints quite a bit. And then, all the lap traffic was extremely nice and easy to manage as well.
Well done. Well, you how many seconds were you ahead? I think it was something like 17, if I was not wrong. Is that right? Was it 18 seconds ahead. So were you just in cruise control?
Yeah. As soon as I got out to about 2 or 3 seconds, it was just keep it in the mid to low 29s as best as I could. And then, wasn't worrying about fuel saving too much. Thought a few, at one stage, Michael might have been up to something a bit fishy with the going a lap longer and potentially trying to make it a one-stop. But, I thought it might be a bit too tight. So, just pressed on.
Yeah, I think the only thing that could have got you undone tonight would have been coming out of the pits and making your way through that traffic again. But what was it like coming out? Did you have any issues getting past the cars again?
Nah, no problems at all. They were all very respectful and probably a bit too respectful, I would say. They're having their own races for positions, and a few of them move out of the way a bit too much to let me through, which it's good for me, but at the same time, I'm happy to just sit behind a bit and let them have their battle on that. It's good to watch as well at the same time.
Yeah. Being one of those guys at the back, it's always good when you've got a patient guy behind you, even though there's a blue flag, and you are. I mean, the fights all the way through the field tonight were everywhere from in the 20s, in the 30s. It was like there was fights everywhere, and it was awesome to watch. Unfortunately, you didn't get as much screen time as some of these other guys because you were just so bloody far ahead. Maybe we should put you a deficit and put some extra weight on you or something.
Ah,
No, it says no. I like it nice and relaxing at the front. So where are we
Mate.
up next week? What's your Scotty? What track are we at next week?
That's what I was just looking for. You're supposed to buy time for me here, Steve, so I can actually.
Okay,
go
sorry,
and have
man. I thought you were on the ball. Sorry, man. I forgot who I was working with. So I was about to say,
Sandown.
Corey, Sandown. Well, you're gonna pants it there as well, aren't you? That was you did the 50 lapper, and that was pretty good. What's your expectations of Sandown?
yeah, being about 15 minutes from the track, it's definitely one I like to drive on here the most. And yeah, did the Pro Invitational around there as well, so got a fair few laps around there. But yeah, it's bit hard to pass around Sandown compared to Phillip Island, but yeah.
Do you think it's going to be all in the qualies? You think everyone's going to take extra practice in the qualies this week to get a better spot on the grid, and it's going to sort of pretty much get clean, get out, and hold the space?
Yeah, quali will be quite big, but also undercut on tyres. There's not a huge amount of time to gain from it, but might just be enough to get past the car in front.
Could see a lot of practicing going on this weekend for top 10 shootout. I reckon it's going to be spectacular next week.
Yeah, it'll be hard to get the perfect lap in around there with all the curbs. It's a bit hit and miss sometimes, but yeah.
Well, we're going to go around the country twice, except for one track, which we'll get, unfortunately, to miss out on the schedule. Oran Park, Phillip Island, Sandown, Winton, and Bathurst. Which of the 5 tracks is probably the favourite to run around?
Oh, Sandown by a mile is probably the favourite. Well, Sandown and Bathurst, but yeah, not really keen on Winton at all. They'll probably be even more important than Sandown to get a good quality spot. And then yeah, Oran Park was hectic to say the least as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge left, right, and centre all the way to the end of the season.
Yeah, that's
keep it clean.
Righto, well, an absolutely out of this world performance here tonight from Corey McFarlane, ladies and gentlemen, proudly brought to you by Send Sim Sports. Corey, who makes it possible over there with your mob?
Joe for running the team does an epic job. Logan as well for the liveries. They always look absolutely mental, and silly me forgot to update that tonight. So apologies for that. Big thanks to everyone at Send Sim Sports, PPS, AJ Insurance, Sydney Computers, everyone else who races. It wouldn't be much of a race without others. So yeah, big thanks to them, and thanks to you guys as well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Corey McFarlane takes it out yet again here tonight. Congratulations to Corey. Congratulations to all the drivers, and that is it from Phillip Island. Steve, you join me in the commentary box. I think this is the first time we've actually commentated together, to be perfectly honest. That was a ball. Had a whole bunch of fun with that.
I had fun, mate. I had fun. I don't know what these other guys are talking about. You're all right.
Mate, Phillip Island, I actually really love. It's one of the few tracks. What tracks have I actually been to? That's it. Phillip Island's the only one I've ever actually been to. Yeah, that might have to change.
I got told today I've been to Phillip Island. I don't remember it, so I must have been fairly young. I went there, but I'm Melbourne boy, and I still haven't been down there to the track on a track day or anything like that. But apparently, I went down there once for MotoGP with the old man. But I must have been a real small tacker because I can't remember. So he's telling me today. But you know what? It's
actually, now you mention it, I think my parents took me to Bathurst when I was actually a baby. So yeah, I have actually. No, I've been to Queensland Raceways, the only other one.
Well, that was your baptism, yeah.
That's why I'm out here and I'm in the simulator all the time. It's because I was baptized in Bathurst. Yeah, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Sim Racing World's DSL Welding Services V8 Supercars, round number 2 from Phillip Island. A big shout out to the sponsors that make it possible. DSL Welding Services, obviously being the sponsor of the V8 Supercars series. DragonRC are the guys behind the scenes that brought you round number 2 from Phillip Island. Big shout out to the promo department and Melville Equipment Corporation, who sponsored the safety car and qualifying here tonight. Also, the additional sponsors behind the scenes that keep things running, Toyo Sim and Racecraft, they help us out, as well as Warren and Brown Tools, who brought us to the Moto Classica event down in Melbourne. That is it on your Sunday night. That is all signed, sealed, and delivered. This has been another broadcast from Sim Racing World, and we hope you enjoy the remainder of your Sunday.
I'd like and subscribe and have a good night.